could overdose. You said stop playing it safe, girl, I wanna see you lose control. Just like nicotine, heroin, morphine. Suddenly I'm a fiend, and you're all I need, all I need. Yeah, yeah, all I need is you, babe. And I'm a sucker for the way that you move, babe. And I could try to run, but it would be useless. You're to blame. Just by hitting you, I know I'll never be the same. It's you, babe. And I'm a sucker for the way that you move, babe. And I could try to run, but it would be useless. You're to blame. Just by hitting you, I know I'll never, ever, ever be the same. I'll never be the same. I'll never be the same. I'll never be the same. You're in my blood, you're in my veins, you're in my head. You're in my blood, you're in my veins, you're in my head. I'm saying you, babe, and I'm a sucker for the way that you move, babe. And I could try to run, but it would be useless. You're to blame, you're to blame. Just by hitting you, I know I'll never be the same. It's you, babe, and I'm a sucker for the way that you move, babe. And I could try to run, but it would be useless. You're to blame. Just by hitting you, I know I'll never, ever, ever be the same.
She got the brown eyes, caramel thighs, long hair, no wedding ring. Hey, I saw you looking from across the way, and now I really wanna know your name. She got the white dress, but when she's wearing less, man, you know that she drives me crazy. The brown eyes, beautiful smile, you know I love watching you do your thing. I love her hips, curves, lips say the words. Te amo, mami, te amo, mami. I kiss her. This love is like a dream. So join me in this bed that I'm in. Push up on me and sweat, darling. So I'm gonna put my time in. I won't stop until the angels sing. Jump in that water, be free. Come south of the border with me. Jump in that water, be free. Come south of the border with me.
He got that green eyes, giving me signs that he really wants to know my name. Hey, I saw you looking from across the way, and suddenly I'm glad I came. Ay, ven para acá, quiero bailar, toma mi mano. Quiero sentir tu cuerpo en mí, estás temblando. Green eyes, taking your time, and I will know we'll never be the same. I love his lips, cause he says the words. Te amo, mami, te amo, mami. Don't wake up, this love is like a dream.
So join me in
this bed that I'm in. Push up on me and sweat, darling. So I'm gonna put my time in. I won't stop until the angels sing.
Jump in that water, be free.
Come south of the border with me.
Jump in that water, be free.
Come south of the border with me. Flawless diamonds in a green field near Buenos Aires until the sun's rising. We won't stop until the angels sing.
Jump in that water, be free.
Come south of the border with me.
Jump in that water, be free.
Come south of the border with me.
You never live till you risk your life. You wanna shine, you gotta get more eyes. Am I your lover or I'm just your vice? A little crazy, but I'm just your type. You want the lips and the curves, need the whips and the furs and the diamonds I prefer. In my closet, his and hers. Ayy, he want the little mamacita margarita. I think the egg got a little jungle fever. Ayy, you want more than something boring. Legs up and tongue out, Michael Jordan. Go exploring, something foreign. Bust it up in rainforest if you pouring. Yeah, kiss me like you need me, rub me like a genie. Pull up to my spot in Lamborghini, cause you gotta see me, never leave me. You got a girl that could finally do it all. Drop an album, drop a baby, but I never drop the ball.
I'm in. Push up on me and sweat, darling. So I'm gonna put my time in. I won't stop until the angels sing. Jump in that water, be free. Come south of the border with me. Come south of the border, border. Come south of the border.
afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the BC High School Football Championships quarterfinal game featuring the St. Thomas More Collegiate Knights against the Mount Douglas Rams. The officials for today's game, your referee is Lee Bryan. Your umpires, Richard Chandler. Line judge, Brian Finley. Line judge, Mike Craig. And back judge, Bob Scott. Mount Douglas will be kicking off. St. Thomas More will be receiving. Our 25-second clock operator this afternoon is BC High School football legend Mike Westman.
Well, good evening and welcome to game number 4 on this Super Saturday here, the quarterfinals of the Subway Bowl here at BC Place. Warren Anders along with the quarterback legend Jay Prepchuk. Great to have you along for quite a game. You look on paper and maybe you think, it's a little lopsided as you've got the undefeated St. Thomas More Knights in red with the white letters taking on the Mount Doug Rams, who came in at 5-2. Took a little while to get going. They're in the white jerseys with the purple and the yellow Rams horn. However, Mount Doug, much like the New England Patriots, always find a way to win. And they look like they're peaking at the right time, Jay. Winners of 5 of their last 6.
Absolutely. And, you know, when you have a team that's coached by Mark Townsend, you know that they're always going to be there. And, again, playoff football, hey, it doesn't matter that team was 7-0 or 4-3, whatever. It's playoff football. It's playoff football in BC Place. This is going to be a great game.
It will be the Mount Doug Rams kicking off. And this game is underway. The ball picked up at the 15-yard line. It's number 17 for St. Thomas More, the star running back / defender Nick Osho, who gets the show rolling here. And he is a load for defenders to handle. In fact, he came away with 1,158 yards and 11 touchdowns, and easily one of the focal points of the St. Thomas More offense.
Yeah, just a big, powerful individual who, has got a great effort, great second effort, and it's going to be a key matchup today for that Mount Doug Ram defense to stop him, that's for sure.
Key player on offense as it is on defense, not even touching the ball, will be Keyshawn Carter, I believe is his name, number 54. He calls out all the plays on the offensive line, all the protections, and he's out there opening up a bit of a hole. And a nice gain there for the St. Thomas Moors on first down.
Yeah, exactly, and just running into the boundary here. St. Thomas More, again, really, a real run-oriented football team, and kind of a smash-mouth football team, like tough football. And, to start off this football game, it's important for them to get a good sustained drive and a good pickup of 4 yards on first down.
It'll be the quarterback, De Lazari, the coach's son. He's had a nice season getting things going with one in the backfield. Play action as he rolls out to his left, wide open receiver. He'll get the first down, and he'll get a few more for change as they'll cross the 51-yard line.
Yeah, nice job by Delzari rolling out to his left-hand side and just hitting a slot back on a quick breakout. Nice play, well-designed play, great protection for Delzari, and he gets the ball out to the left-hand flat, and nice pickup, nice first down for St. Thomas More. And you can see, folks, that we don't have the yard markers out there. It's a challenge for us up here, and of course for you folks as well. So we'll try to keep you informed as much as we can. St. Thomas More Knights starting the drive. They're on the 50-yard line.
Pass could play to Alex Cordero, who changed his number at the last moment. Normally number 4, wearing 82 today. So first down, St. Thomas More. One in the backfield again. Nice hole opens up on the left side. Boy, doesn't take much for number 17 of the St. Thomas More Knights, Nick Osho, absolutely chewing up the yards and gets it to the red zone, and a pickup of about 40-plus yards on the play.
Yeah, great job of that left-hand side of the St. Thomas More Knights offensive line. Huge hole. There's a great job, great patience there, and nice, and you can see that burst and that real extra effort getting up the left-hand sideline. Nice pickup for St. Thomas More as they get all the way down to the Mount Doug 10-yard line. Let's see if Mount Doug starts to play a little more aggressive on defense, maybe throw in a blitz here. They're in their traditional 4-42 look, and they gotta make some plays here.
St. Thomas More outscored their opponents 181-79 in the regular season. De Lazari now under center, flanked by 2 in the backfield. Give to Osho, and boy, you called it. Buy a lottery ticket, Jay, because they read that play, swallowed up the middle, and there was nowhere for the talented number 17 to go.
Yeah, exactly. Good job by, Mount Doug. They're going to be prepared. They're ready for this. St. Thomas More came out in a goal line offense, running an unbalanced formation to the right-hand side with a tight end, extra offensive lineman over there, and they decide to run to the weak side. But the Mount Doug defense was well prepared for that particular play. You know that both these teams so well coached. Coach Delzari has his Knights ready. Coach Townsend has his Rams ready for this football game.
One receiver to the near side as they'll go with 2 in the backfield. There's the handoff, looking up the middle. Once again, Mount Doug with a fine job, number 11, penetrating that offensive line, and that is Kai Harris. And he makes the tackle, and once again, St. Thomas More looking for answers here in the red zone.
Yeah, exactly. Kai does a great job of coming off the weak side and just hunting down that running back, and did a great job of bringing him down. Again, a crucial situation here, crucial downs for the Mount Doug defense after giving up a couple of real big plays to the St. Thomas More offense.
There are some absolute stallions on the offensive and defensive side for both of these teams. If you're going to win in the trenches, boy, it's going to be a battle either way, as there's one in the backfield now.
That's a
and the
fumble.
ball is fumbled after the swing pass, and there's Mr. Reliable there, number 54, Keyshawn Carter, who will pick that up but drive them back deeper. Now are you thinking field goal after being stymied 3 straight?
Yeah, exactly. And again, great job by that Mount Doug defense. They were ready for that, just a swing pass out to the right-hand flat here. And wow, big play. That looks like probably number 13. Is that Cole Bunting there, the leading tackler for the Mount Doug Rams? And you know that Cole Bunting is a veteran of this defense. He's going to be making a lot of big plays in this football game tonight.
He's named an all-star in the end of season rankings as They're going for it. 4th and 25. Dilazari looking over the middle and almost into the hands of the defender, as out of the reach of the talented two-way player Jack Wagner. And so it will be Mount Doug ball. So it was looking really easy early on for St. Thomas More, but Mount Doug showed, you put up or you shut up when the time comes, and they did just that.
Yeah, it really was. And you're going to have a veteran football team, a team that, of course, the defending champions. These guys have been part of this Mount Doug program for many, many years, and that they have a lot of pride in what they're doing, and they are just darn right mad when, when St. Thomas More comes out and gains, substantial yardage as they did on that first drive.
Hunter Swift with the handoff, and that one quickly moved ahead, and I believe that was number 1, Nelson, or pardon me, is that number 7, or Nelson Carnell? It was. The 1s and 7s look very similar here.
They really
but
do, yep.
Running a small pickup of, actually a loss on the play.
Yeah, and you know what? Mount Doug and their traditional off-tackle counter play, pulling the backside guard and the backside tackle. But, when you've got that tremendous penetration from number 54, Carter, that's a way that's going to really mess up a counter play. And here we go. All the games we've done today, we did that 9:30 game today. We did, I lose track after a while here, Warren, but I tell you, all 3 games, the offenses in the first drive of the football game have all had an offensive, illegal procedure penalty against them, backing them up, of course, 5 yards. So a little early jitters maybe, right tackle, right guard move for Mount Doug, but it's very common, it's very consistent, it's happened in every game today, just a little early motion.
Pressure shown by St. Thomas More, and pulling the sled ahead on a nice run, and he's finally brought down number 2, Mateo number 24. That's Peter Primo, the lead back. In fact, they kind of run by committee. If you look at the numbers, I think 5 or 6 guys with 100 yards or more, but nobody with more than Peter Primo, who had about 260 yards.
Exactly. They just, last year, of course, the defending champions had Kremler at one of the twins at running back that was able to carry the, most of the mail last year. And this year, interesting when you see the stats, you certainly have 3 or 4 guys in around the 300-yard area.
Hunter Swift being pursued, rolls it out, and almost an OBJ-like catch by number 4, Joe Lucas, but he couldn't haul that one in. Joe Lucas, one of those veteran receivers, and they talked about it. Howard Samura said he's a guy that's got leaping ability and can haul in some of those passes.
He really does. He's just an outstanding athlete, a great veteran of this Mount Doug Rams football program. And, both these quarterbacks, young quarterbacks, starting with the rollout pass to the left-hand side. And, Hunter does a nice job of getting the ball out there, just a little bit overthrown. And, again, bring up a punting situation for Mount Doug. Mount Doug on their own 20. Again, folks, we're going to try to let you know as best we can on their own 22-yard line, looks like right now.
And I should mention, I apologize early on, getting my bearings. There's 6:46 remaining here in the first quarter. There's 5 All-Stars on the St. Thomas More's defensive side and nobody in the backfield. And they'll pick that up at the 44-yard line, we'll say. And that's where the Knights will get rolling. And interesting strategy there on special teams.
Yeah, exactly. And, talking to Steve Delzari during the week, he mentioned that on defense, of course, the St. Thomas More Knights, they want to keep playing fast, intense, and physical style of defense that they are famous for, right? Be able to stop the run and also be ready to, for the play action pass and be mentally prepared. So watch for them to come out, and he said on offense, establish the run, look after the ball, and use our speed to our advantage. So spoken like a true coach.
Exactly. Nick Osho over 200 yards in the win over Lord Tweedsmuir to wrap up the regular season. And he'll get the rock right now, tries to sweep his way out to the left side, gets a block, a stiff arm, and slides ahead, and that lunge might have got him 1 or 2 yards on the play. But I tell you what, this defensive line of the linebackers of Mount Doug doing a nice job of absorbing the pressure and bouncing out and really limiting what this talented running back can do, Jay.
Yeah, exactly. And, an excellent job of, as you just said, the Rams, on defense, those outside linebackers. I tell you, they've been coached to make sure that they keep everything inside and they don't want to lose contain, especially against the speed of the St. Thomas More Knights.
Lineup 3 up front for Mount Doug as we've got one in the backfield for St. Thomas More. De Lazari now barking out the orders, sees what the defense is doing, hands it off, slipping ahead on a nice little run right up the middle. Jack Wagner, who had 2 touchdowns in the win over Lord Tweedsmuir to wrap up the regular season.
Yeah, exactly. And again, you've got a football team like the St. Thomas More Knights who, finished number 1, of course, in their conference, undefeated during league play. Howard Samora, just down a couple of booths from us, of course, has got St. Thomas More ranked right now at number 3 in the province, with South Delta number 1, Vancouver College number 2, and Lord Tweedsmuir the number 5 position.
We'll get a chance to see South Delta next game, and the defense once again absolutely reading that play, 13 and 38, and that would be Cole Bunting once again. We've said his name a few times.
Yeah, and we will.
Caleb Zaloskis-Swan. Those little screen passes and swing passes really aren't fooling the defense at all. They were there. They brought them the newspaper and a cup of coffee. That's how quick they were.
Yeah, exactly. And they know that, when Nick goes in that little early motion to the flat, basically, that Mount Doug knows right away that guy, they're going to try to get him the football in the open space. So they want to just try to, close that space down early, which is exactly what they've done.
High rising kick, and it fooled the punt returner, number 10, Lyndon Williams, and slipped through his fingers all the way into the end zone. And now the Mount Doug Rams will try to build upon what the defense has done and get things going offensively.
Yeah, exactly. And talking to Coach Townsend this week, he, talked about the swarming defense of St. Thomas More. He's, really keyed on Carter as number 54, the outstanding athlete, the outstanding lineman, two-way lineman for St. Thomas More. And, he said that this year's team for Mount Doug is a lot different than they have been in the past. They're, maybe not as talented, especially at the skill positions, but, they're working hard. They're well coached, and, they're excited to be here.
2 in the backfield, and Hunter Swift with a nice play, eludes traffic, and then a great block up front. And the first down and change as the Rams get rolling, and Glenn Rose will move the chains.
Yeah, and nice job by Hunter Swift, the quarterback. Of course, Hunter being the grade 10 quarterback, and he's leading the charge, obviously, for the JV team as well. And, they've advanced to the semifinals, so Hunter's getting a chance to play lots of football. But, good for Coach Townsend to go ahead and, have faith in a grade 10 quarterback.
So fake draw play ended up being play action. I'm not sure if that was a broken play or if that was designed, because he sold it if it was not a broken play. Manages to get a few yards, and Hunter Swift over 200 yards on the ground the regular season.
Right, and just as I was saying positive things certainly about Hunter, he goes ahead and, who knows what the miscue was on that particular play. But, well, lots of pressure on, a grade 10 quarterback. But Mount Doug's done that before. You remember Gideon Kremler, of course, the outstanding MVP from last year's championship football team. He started and played a lot as a grade 9 for the Mount Doug Rams.
Pickup of 3. He'll go far side, finds a receiver. Flag is on the turf, though, as the pass completed to Joe Lucas.
And, of course, not comparing Hunter Swift to Gideon Kremler, it's really difficult. I mean, the one thing that Gideon was able to do, of course, is just establish himself as a runner, right? I mean, even at the grade 10, when he was in grade 10, he would still run the ball and run quarterback counters, quarterback draws, quarterback sweeps, and Gideon was just so effective in not only throwing the football but also running the ball. And Gideon, of course, up at Simon Fraser University, I believe took a redshirt year this year, and see if he can compete at the quarterback position next year. And
sure, Coach Ford wouldn't mind if he can make a move for that with the talent he showed at this level.
Yeah, exactly. So Simon Fraser, just speaking of Simon, the last game today, they lost to Central Washington at Swangard Stadium. So finished off the season. So all the local university teams, of course, our team, UBC, didn't make the playoffs. And speaking of which, Calgary, congratulations to University of Calgary.
Against the Carabins.
Against Montreal. So that'll be in the big Vanier Cup next weekend, I believe I think it's in Laval. I think it's in Quebec City. So, of course, the big CFL games tomorrow. Looking forward to that Regina, Saskatchewan, and Winnipeg battle, and
Caleros against a
I know.
team that traded him away. You gotta love that.
Isn't that fantastic? How, and you know, of course, Cordy Fajero, of course, BC fans will remember him as a backup quarterback here that was, you know, just barely made the roster here and goes to Saskatchewan. Of course, has a tremendous year. Probably going to be the most valuable player in the CFL this year.
BC has a history of that. You look at Mike Riley, went to Edmonton after being a third stringer here and just exploded on the scene. And now Fajardo getting a chance, seizing his opportunity on a very good team. And the other semifinal, very quickly we'll get to that. And Edmonton trying to make their way to become the first team to get from the West to the Grey Cup on the eastern side. It won't be easy, though.
There you go. Good stat. First wild card team then, I guess, right?
It would be. And so you'd love to see that with the likes of local boys like Malik Irons of the Abbotsford, used to play WJ Mowat.
Of course, exactly. So we've got a lot of, we got a old, speaking of St. Thomas More Knights, Calvin McCarty, the seasoned veteran, number 31 for the Edmonton Eskimos. Was it great? I remember him running up and down this field many years ago for the St. Thomas More Knights. I believe he took home a championship with the Knights when he was playing at the tailback position. So great to see a lot of the alumni from BC high school football playing in the CFL, having great success. And, it's exciting to see. And so we've got a big day of CFL football tomorrow.
3:24 left. And speaking of that, looking at the alumni from Mount Doug, in the CFL, Alex Carroll, Cameron Judge for Saskatchewan, Marcus and Terrell Davis of Hamilton, Zach Wilkerson of Montreal.
Exactly, we were just talking about Zach, and that, boy, what a huge offensive line they had a couple of years ago.
Going to the air, deep, caught it, but was he in bounds? And the referees will say no go, but a valiant effort nonetheless. And look at those hands by number 4, Joe Lucas. Boy, he has got some sticky fingers.
He really does. And you know what? The referee's right on the spot. And, you know, we talk about all the great players, all the great all-stars out there today that, hopefully be able to continue on playing football in the future. But we've also got the all-star referee crews out here today. And Lee Bryant, the head official in this particular game, has got an excellent crew to work with.
3rd and 12 now for Mount Doug's. They clear out the backfield pressure. Osho almost got in there, but a great job by Swift. Got the ball ahead. And he powers his way through. Smashes him like a battering ram. That's big Peter Primo gobbling up the yards.
Wow, and this is not good for Peter Primo. He's favoring that right shoulder right now. And, boy, he's, as you said earlier, he carries the mail. He is the leading ground gainer for this Mount Doug Rams. Well-designed football play. Hunter Swift doing an excellent job. Delay after that jet motion coming across and hitting Primo in the in a little screen pass to the left-hand side. Nice patience by quarterback, grade 10 quarterback Hunter Swift getting the ball out to his dangerous back Primo. And right now we have a first down, but we do also, looks like it's Mount Doug, Coach Townsend now calling his play from the sideline. All the players looking at, he's got some code word that he might have right now to get in there and run this particular play.
Watch for 54, Keyshawn Carter, also on defense, named the conference MVP.
Yeah, for a down lineman to be an MVP, I mean, that's pretty special to have a defensive lineman named the MVP. Usually, you'll see a linebacker or a defensive back in that situation.
Last year, as a grade 11, was the grade 11 defensive player of the year, and Coach Gilazari said, well, he's one of the best leaders I've ever had in varsity, and he's had some good ones. Said because he makes those line calls, protections on O-line, prides himself on football IQ. In there pressuring the quarterback along with his teammates. I don't know how Hunter Swift got that pass off, but he got it there, and it was caught.
Very fortunate, very fortunate. A little option play. Jackson Reed did a nice job of, picking up that ball, even though he knew he was going to get hit. And, again, great penetration by that defensive line of St. Thomas More, number 74. Excellent job of getting in there and penetrating and, really breaking up that option play. So Bryson Van Loo, number 74, excellent play.
One of the grade 11 offensive linemen is Mount Doug going to the air, and Lucas has caught it, and he's got a nose for the end zone to the 5-touchdown Mount Doug Rams.
Boy, and that's exactly what the Mount Doug Rams will do. They'll just kind of chip away. They'll make a couple of mistakes along the way, but you know that whatever players they put out there, the Mount Doug Rams are going to be an explosive offense. And great call by Coach Townsend, a little bit of a wheel route there to his excellent receiver, and nice pass by Hunter Swift, just a quick drop, little pump fake to the backside.
He laid that on a platter for him.
You know, that was just an outstanding, well-designed play. Excellent job, Mount Doug Rams. How about that? Just like that, going up 7-0 or 6-0. We'll see what happens with the. Are they going to go for two? No, they got the kicker out there, and see if they can be successful on kicking the convert.
That was Tate freezing. It looked like he was stride for stride, and then Lucas, that little extra gear and pulled away, used that lanky frame as they'll blow the whistle on the point after attempt. But that's got to give Mount Doug a lot of confidence. And Coach DeLazari of St. Thomas More, he said, you know what, we're not looking at their record because we know they get going this time of year every year. We lost to them last year in the playoffs. We'll be more prepared this time around, but you can't prepare for hands like Lucas sometimes going one-on-one.
Yeah, and you know, when you throw a ball like that, when you throw just an absolute perfect pass on a deep pass like that, getting that coverage like that, it's, you know, it's just so difficult to defend that deep pass, especially when you have a veteran receiver, a receiver that you know, as you said, he's got just tremendous hands, runs fantastic routes. You know, you look at a lot of these players, we talked a lot about the alumni that are playing in the CFL. We know that a lot of these players are going to be moving on and playing football definitely at the next level. Certainly both of these teams, Sam Steele was a defensive lineman, of course, the last few years with St. Thomas More. He came out with UBC, and his dad, Casey, had a great career with UBC Thunderbirds as a linebacker. I know he had a great career because he sacked me a couple of times when we played against him in the Shrum Bowl. And so Sam Steele was outstanding defensive lineman with us with UBC, and of course had a great career with St. Thomas More. Just one to name a few of the many players that have gone on to play university football from these football teams.
Well, an early 7-0 lead. Mount Doug Rams in the white jerseys with the purple and yellow helmets with 2:19 remaining here in the first quarter. Warren Andrews along with Jay Prepchuk. As the ball is absolutely boomed into the end zone, and not often you see a lot of high school kickers with great legs, but there was a good one there.
Exactly, and you know, it's interesting that this season in the last few games especially, we've seen some excellent place kicking. Vancouver College with young grade 11 Kolb is an outstanding kicker. He also caught a pass as a receiver today. Tyron Birdie, you know, the excellent defensive back is also was a great punter for New Westminster. You know, there's another boy that's going to go on and have a fine university career, one of the best defensive backs in not only British Columbia, but in all of Canada. So, Taryn Birdie, congratulations on a great career with the New Westminster Hyaks, and son, you've got lots of football left to play in your career.
Two receivers near side, one to the far side. There's the give up the left side, and it is number 17, Nick Osho. Sixth carry of the game so far for Mr. Osho.
And you can always tell, you know, with the team and how do they respond to a touchdown against them, right? And so interesting to see how St. Thomas More Knights are able to battle back against this Rams after the Rams put up the first touchdown, leading 7-0.
Two receivers each side now. As you wonder, DeLazari, will he head to the air here? Mount Doug will show four up front. Osho, the lone man in the backfield, and DeLazari now rolling out to his left, feels the heat, and he'll hold on to it and lose a yard, but no sack on the play.
Yeah, exactly. So DeLazari doing a good job of just straight drop back pass. Mount Doug in their traditional zone defense, just drop back. Linebackers did an excellent job of getting into their hook zones and really nullifying any of the receivers from St. Thomas More. Again, DeLazari doing a good job. Obviously, he lost a few yards on the play, but didn't force the ball in there, didn't create any turnovers. So, again, bringing up a difficult 3rd and 12 situation for the St. Thomas More Knights from their own 19-yard line.
Well, if they're going to get things going, perhaps number 24, Jack Wagner, will be the man to do it. This time they'll line up just one player to the far hash, two receivers near side. De Lazare rolling back, steps away from the pressure, throws it on the run. That one caught. Nice move to zip around one defender and then slithers ahead. Number 2, Gabe Nicario, another all-star, I believe, on this team. Picks up a big, is that first down? I believe
yeah,
so.
great second effort. And again, a nice job by De Lazare feeling the pocket there, finding a little bit of an opening, a little bit of a seam in the pocket, just coming towards the line of scrimmage, doing a nice job of getting the ball away before the line of scrimmage. And big play for the St. Thomas More Knights. It's a play that they really certainly needed at this part of the football game.
Just over a minute remaining here in the first quarter. 7-0 lead for the Mount Doug Rams in white against the St. Thomas More Knights in red. De Lazare now with a handoff as Osho tripped over the oncoming defender. And while those plays are kind of like in hockey, put the puck on the net, just put your hands up in the air and maybe someone will trip over you.
Exactly, to see what happens. So, fine job. Again, that both these football teams, one thing that, is going to be happening, they're going to come into this ball game and they're going to be prepared, especially on defense. They've watched tons of film all week. They've, really worked hard at preparing against each other's offense. You're not going to see a whole lot of new wrinkles offensively. So, two well-coached football teams that are certainly going to be well prepared for this matchup tonight.
That may come down to the third or fourth quarter when teams are maybe wearing down a bit. A few injuries happen as De Lazare now fakes the first handoff. Oh, and a big hole opens up and Osho lunges ahead. Nice play call there by the coaching staff, and Osho with a big first down.
Yeah, nice gain over the right tackle. Just such a quick hitter, and that's sometimes the thing to do. A little bit of misdirection though for St. Thomas More, faking that jet sweep. And when you run that jet sweep motion like that, you certainly, as a linebackers, have to honor that motion and coming back to an inside run. Good job by Osho of getting the ball up the field.
What was even more impressive is the way that offensive line, you watched on the replay, how they just opened the hole right there for him to walk his way through. And a running back like Osho, you don't need to give him much room, and he will take it.
They really did. They did an excellent job of blocking up front. And again, you got some big boys up front, and when you come into playoff football and you're going to have a good physical football game, oftentimes it's going to come down to the offensive and defensive lines to see who can dominate the most. So, again, outstanding job by that St. Thomas More Knights offensive line of just driving their legs and excellent technique and great pickup for first down for the St. Thomas More Knights. But, hey, let's look at one more game here tonight. Of course, you're working that game with our good friend Jake Elliott, and the Notre Dame and South Delta should be a good matchup today in that big ball game. So that's going to be our last game tonight. But there's also a game out in Chilliwack tonight, folks. So
GW Graham.
GW Graham going at it out there against the Holy Cross Crusaders. So if you're out in Chilliwack and you want to go see some high school football, then get out to Exhibition Stadium.
That was Buckwitz back for GW Graham.
I understand not. I know. Key question, certainly, is whether or not, Logan, one of our, the finest players, of course, in British Columbia. And I did the game, unfortunately, where he got hurt against New West. And I know that hamstring injury wasn't as bad as they initially thought it was, but still keeping him out of action, which is unfortunate. Great football player and fun boy to watch play football. Tight end and linebacker, dominating player that is another guy that's going to have a great career. So, again, Exhibition Stadium tonight, 7 o'clock, GW Graham and the Holy Cross Crusaders going at it.
That's Logan Ward, the defender for Mount Doug, caused a loss of 5 on the run by Nick Osho. 2 receivers, far side, handoff. Once again, Osho slips around the defender, still on his feet. He's got a bit of a lane, and he straddles the sideline for just a moment. A huge pickup of about 20 yards when you factor in the 5 yards he lost to begin with.
Yeah, exactly. And, just a well-executed play. You see the offensive lineman churning away, the tight end doing an excellent job of blocking, and just a little inside move to kind of fool the defender, and Lyndon Williams just kind of went with that inside fake, and nice job of busting it to the outside. Big first down for the St. Thomas More Knights as they are now down on the Mount Doug 40-yard line.
That was Brandon Turnbull who finally got a hand on him to somewhat knock him out of bounds, but just under a minute gone, or Just under a minute gone, pardon me, here in the second quarter. 11:08 left, and it's a 7-0 lead for Mount Doug. St. Thomas More, though, starting to knock a little bit on the door. Now, they did come close on their first drive early on before they were driven back, so nothing is a given.
That's for sure, yeah, exactly. That Mount Doug defense really did a good job of kind of tightening up in there and, stopping the St. Thomas More Knights on that very first drive.
Probably shouldn't say it because I'm going to jinx it, but I'll say it anyway just because it's something to talk about. Been impressed so far with the discipline on both sides. What, 1, maybe 2 penalties so far in the first quarter?
Absolutely, and it's, throughout the day there's been certainly a couple of personal foul penalties here and there, but, it's very impressed, obviously being involved in high school football for so many years and watching so many games, both as a, as a player and as a coach. I'm really impressed with what the coaches have done and how they prepare their players, how their players, they kind of helping the other guys off the, up a little bit, or they're just showing true sportsmanship. Of course, a lot of these players have played on elite select teams. They play basketball against each other. They know each other. So great sportsmanship has been demonstrated today on the part of most of the teams playing.
Quarterfinal here between St. Thomas More and Mount Doug as St. Thomas More goes to the air, but might have had to have been Usain Bolt to track that one down. Number 6, Ricky Parsons, who does it on defense. 3 pick-6 in his last 2 games. So he knows the end zone, but usually he's on the defensive side.
Yeah, exactly. Great coverage. Good job by Lyndon Williams to, really put a blanket over that fade route. Delzari getting the ball out there. Nice throw, but again, good job by the defense. Mount Doug, again, in their traditional, they kind of bend a little bit, but they don't break, and they're, this is the kind of situation that Mount Doug is usually really excels at.
He's Jay Prepchuk. I'm Warren Andrews, SportsCanada.TV. Subway Bowl quarterfinals. The St. Thomas More in red, handoff to Osho. Finds a nice hole through the right side, still on his feet. Osho, the first down, plus an extra yard or 2.
Just a well-executed play by St. Thomas More, running off the right tackle. Excellent job. And the one thing about Osho is you just really see that speed, right? He kind of puts it into another gear, and when he does that, boy, I tell you, he is really tough to bring down. I know that, throughout the week, Mount Doug would be preparing against a player like that, running the St. Thomas More plays, but to see that speed, to see that acceleration in real life is a lot different than, say, what you're prepared for when you're playing on and practicing on the mud all week at their own park.
They've got an impressive offensive line. You look at Van Loo, you look at Montagno, both grade 11s. They'll be there next year.
Yeah.
And, Osho is a fantastic running back, but you can't do much if you don't have an offensive line unless your name's Barry Sanders.
Yeah, that's for sure. And, boy, I tell you, we talked earlier in some of the earlier games that, these are dedicated football players. And those offensive linemen, that's a tough job out there. Those are the guys that, they don't get recognition very often. It's always, going to be the running back, the guy that scores a touchdown. But I tell you, those big hoggies up front, and these are a lot of guys that I know that have lifted weights throughout the year. They've trained. They're working hard for this moment. And, boy, they're sore. I can tell you, at the end of the season like this, they're sore, they're tired. But you know what? They're just sheer determination to continue to play as hard as they're playing.
And a lot of them play both sides of the line, too, smashing into players 250 pounds or more. As De Lazari goes to the air, he's got his man, a nice reception down to the 4-yard line, and St. Thomas More threatening to tie this game up.
Yeah, and exactly as you said earlier, Warren, they're going to get the ball into Jack Wagner's hands, and that's exactly what they did on that particular play when, they were able to run Jack Wagner cross in motion and run him on a little bit of a go route. Well-designed play. Coach Delzari did an excellent job as far as designing that play, and the St. Thomas More are going to go in a fire situation on the ball, the 4-yard line.
Is it Osho time?
Oh, no.
It looked like it was going to be Osho time. However, the whistle blew and the flags flew.
Let's see what head referee Lee has to
They said illegal formation because they blew that before the play even got off.
Yeah, exactly. And, boy, those are just the critical plays that are going to really, really hurt you. And Joe Adams, the offensive coordinator over on the sideline, veteran coach for the St. Thomas More Knights, boy, he's not happy out there right now. I tell you, that's upsetting when you are able to, drive the ball down the field and then all of a sudden now instead of, 1st and 4 from the goal line, it's it's tough to back them up like this in this situation.
Just over 9 minutes remaining here in the second quarter. St. Thomas More looking to tie the game up. Osho, he shifts gears one way to the other, and he's got a touchdown. St. Thomas More Knights, and they're now trailing by 1.
Yeah, excellent. And, we talk about Osho all day, and the one word that really describes his running style is just that patience, right? He's just does a good job of, being patient, waiting for the holes to open up. Very tough to defend that type of play when St. Thomas More, runs that jet motion across. You'll see on the replay here that jet sweep action right here that you certainly have to honor and respect. And then giving the ball a nice cut. Watch the cutback right here. Excellent job of just finding the open ground and scampering into the end zone. Just a great job of reading the play. Great job of accelerating up into the hole and putting the St. Thomas More Knights on the scoreboard. So there you go, a great drive, and boy, again, the kind of ball game we expected, right? Close, hard hitting, physical game that that's exactly what we called for, right? So this is going to be a good one. We, the earlier games we had a couple of blowouts, right? Congratulations to the Langley Saints. They came in
new program, and wow.
Did an excellent job coming in, and Rick Pichet, Coach Sandor, did an excellent job with his guys. They've had a fantastic season running behind Kai Thomas, but it was kind of by committee today. Lots of different players were stars for the Langley Saints today, so congratulations to the Saints for marching on. There you go. Okay.
That's hey, you're allowed one or two punts a game. It's been a long day for you. We'll give it to you, Jay.
So the Langley Saints next week in the semifinal. So next week right here at BC Place, folks, semifinal Saturday. The Langley Saints will be playing against the winner of the G.W. Graham Grizzlies and Holy Cross. So that's going to be a big one next year. That's going to be, boy, I tell you, already I'm excited about that.
If it's the Grizzlies, that's the Fraser Valley Bowl essentially right there.
It really is, yeah. Bolinas, congratulations. Danny Smith and Jeremy Kahn, they just keep on rolling out there with the Bolinas Whalers from Parksville. Defeated Robert Bateman this past weekend, and they will be playing the defending champion Vernon Panthers. Vernon with a big victory over the Windsor Dukes yesterday in Vernon.
Yeah, Bolinas doesn't just build sandcastles in the summer. They're building a great football program there on the island. As the kick is through, and unfortunately the delay was because the outstanding defensive back and all-star Kai Harris helped off the field, and the Rams do not want to see that and now they're going to have a closer look at him on the table. Yeah, but you don't want one of those guys, especially with guys, the receiving talent that St. Thomas More has. You need those all-star defensive backs to keep them in check.
Yeah, you really do, and this is just going to be a big blow for this football team, starting right away with the return team because, he is a tremendous returner as well, right? So with Kai Harris out, it's going to be certainly a challenge for Mount Doug. And, Mark talked to me when I talked to Mark quite often throughout the season. It's just, just battling, always seem to be battling injuries, and not major kind of things, hamstrings here and there, or a little kind of owies, but enough to keep guys out of practice, enough to keep guys, maybe the odd game here and there. And it's going to happen, of course, in football, the physical game of football. But, when you just, you lose kind of games sometimes because you just don't have your best players in. But it it happens to everybody. Injuries, of course, are part of the game of football.
Alex Cordero to kick off from his 40 and squibble kick and looked good, but unfortunately it was almost like he was chasing it as he kicked it, as opposed to you see maybe in the higher levels where they'll swing it out to the outside and load that side up. That one, the trickery was there, but the execution not so much.
Exactly, and that's what that's usually kind of a Mount Doug move. They're usually into kicking off and kicking short kicks. They've kind of been masters at that in the last many years, and one of the reasons they're so successful is because of the the success they've had on special teams. But instant, what happens is you get instant field position here when you take a chance on a kickoff like that, and the Rams have good field position.
Swift now throws it up. Oh, Lucas, once again, boy, he looks like he's ready to break again. He's so lanky and lean, and he's got those long limbs. And almost hauled that one in, but the pass incomplete.
Yeah, but Nicario was not fooled on that particular play. And again, a little bit of a pump fake here. Hunter Swift trying to have the cornerback bite up, but the corner had nothing to do with that. He did a good job of covering that pump and go.
Good news is we saw Peter Primo back in the backfield, so that'll help the Mountain Doug Rams as they go to the other side now. Lucas has caught it. He hauls it in, and he's dragged down at the 5-yard line. And oh my goodness, Lucas shining in this quarterfinal so far.
Yeah, and we talked all day about the great players making great plays, and there's another perfect example. Great job by the quarterback, Hunter Swift, just getting the ball to the outside shoulder. And wow, I tell you, look at that talent. Look at those hands. Joe Lucas, excellent job. You know, not bad coverage there. I mean, St. Thomas More was right on him. And again, when you throw a pass that perfect on a fade route like that, it is very, very difficult to defend.
42-yard pickup with 8:25 remaining. Swift now finds his way to the outside, throws it into the end zone, and a touchdown, Mount Doug Rams. That one caught by number 6, Glenn Rose.
Wow, and just what a great poise shown by the grade 10 quarterback Hunter Swift to just, you know, not panic, scramble around a little bit, but still remain with his eyes looking downfield. So a good indicator, a good little lesson for quarterbacks is watch how he's just patient, feels the pocket, gets out, eyes still downfield, and there you go. What a great play, great catch. A little bit of a trap there, but nice job by. There we go. We get the replay up here, of course, but the referee's right on the spot. And hey, nice job by Glenn Rose coming across, finding the opening, and hey, big touchdown. And just like that, that's exactly, you know, again, what Mount Doug comes back and does. So you're wondering right now, though, when you go back 4 plays or 3 plays, St. Thomas More, are they saying right now, why did we kick it short like that? Why did we do a short kick like that? Should we just, you know what, we've been successful in kicking the ball deep, and especially since, you know, the return, their number 1 return man is probably, Kai Harris is probably not going to be in there. You know, why not? Why don't we just kick it? Why don't we kick it deep?
Yeah.
And they kick it short, you know what? But on the other hand, hey, you would have got that. You would have recovered. You would be in the other end, you know, you would be scoring a touchdown. So anyways, you know what? That's the chances you take as a coach. Obviously, Coach Delzari and the special teams folks for St. Thomas More, they, you know, felt that all week they looked at film and they felt there was a weakness there, and they thought they could capitalize on a short kickoff, but obviously unsuccessful. And there's Mount Doug, Mark Townsend, and the Mount Doug Rams capitalizing on that.
8:19 remaining here in the second quarter. It's a 14-7 lead for the Rams. The Island Juggernauts taking on the team from Burnaby here, and there's a low line drive, and that one fielded at the 15-yard line. Osho fends off one, fends off a second before he's brought down, and the ball will be spotted up around the 30-yard line, and Osho really is Mr. Everything for this night's team.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a tremendous athlete, and you know, doing an excellent job of cutting the ball to the outside. But you know, those Mount Doug Rams, you know that they're going to be prepared in all 3 facets of the game, and you know, we talked about that throughout the day, how the coaches are doing an excellent job. And you know, a lot of these players that play on special teams run down on kickoff. They might not be the starting players for the team, but they're hungry. They want to contribute, and you know, they can contribute. We can make tackles and you know, contain a ball carrier like that on a kickoff team. You know, you've done a good job.
Well, as they always say, until you lose, you're the defending champion still.
Yep.
5 of the last 8 years for the Rams. There's a pass. Oh, and a great reception. Number 82, Alex Cordero, hauls that in and then punishes a defender on the way to picking up the first down.
Yeah, another one of the leaders for the St. Thomas More Knights. Alex does an excellent job of just running a breakout pass, and Delzari does a good job of getting the ball. And as you said, a big pop in there. Boy, I tell you, Joe Lucas, who's a veteran player, he came in and, you know, really gave him a good pop, and nice job to maintain possession of the ball. And you know, here we go with the Knights starting to drive on their own 47-yard line.
Looking like a young Keyshawn Johnson back in the day, smashing defenders. Here's Delazari with the handoff to Osho up the right side, and he'll slip ahead for a gain of 7 or 8 on the play. Yeah. Very methodical this Knights offense has been the last couple of drives, Jay.
Exactly, and that's exactly kind of their trademark, right? And, Coach Delzari mentioned that as we spoke earlier, just going to maintain the run, play St. Thomas More Knights football, right? Maintain ball possession, grind it out a little bit, get the ball to our great athletes, and use our team speed.
What I'm impressed with is that offensive line is holding off the defenders long enough to allow Osho, such a great east-west runner, to get outside, find that corner, and pick up the extra yards.
He really is, exactly. Hey, at this time, we're going to get a chance to have a little shout-out to George Zarelli. Unfortunately, George is our treasurer for BC High School football, long-time football coach. I was fortunate enough to have George coach me twice in my life as a grade 9, 10 player at Handsworth School. He was my junior football coach, and with the Vancouver Marilomas after I finished my career at Simon Fraser. George is had a back operation a couple of days ago, so he's resting comfortably right now. We know he's listening. Hi, George, out there. We miss you. You're usually around on the sidelines in your scooter, and we're missing you here at BC Place, but we are all thinking of you, and we are all wishing you speedy recovery. George, Coach Zarelli, we love you, man, and hopefully we'll see you out here in the next couple of weeks.
One of those pillars that has really built up BC High School football into what it is these days, as Osho shifting and turning and slides ahead, does enough for the first down and maybe a yard or two extra.
Yeah, just a nice inside little run, and good job by that offensive line, offensive coordinator. Again, we've got, Coach Adams, who's a veteran coach of BC High School football, coaches that does a great job with that offensive line. And, again, nice job of just powering in there, just finesse football, gaining that first down.
Osho with 15 carries so far today, along with 2 receptions.
Wow, look at you keeping track of stats, doing the play-by-play. You're doing it all.
The memory's not good, so I got to write everything down on paper.
I like it.
De Lazari stepping back, feels the pressure into the hole. Oh, and he's driven down to the turf on a sack by big number 55, Jackson McEwen. Does a nice job as a left tackle, protecting the quarterback, and decides, well, you're not my quarterback, I'm not protecting you.
Yeah, exactly. And Jackson McEwen, even though he's in grade 11, he is an outstanding football prospect, and he started for this football team last year as a grade 10 player, and I knew it wasn't going to be long before we were mentioning Jackson McEwen, as you said, outstanding two-way lineman for the Mount Doug Rams.
Loss of 5 on the play. St. Thomas has been here before, though. They've been driven back, and then they've charged ahead. See what Coach De Lazari has up his sleeve. Once again, they tried the fake on the little jet sweep, but the Mount Doug Rams have seen that movie before, and they're not buying that ticket. They'll stuff them right up the middle.
Yeah, exactly. And, that's exactly what Mount Doug will do to you on defense and on offense. They'll kind of wait, and then all of a sudden they make plays, right? It's pretty simple. They're making big plays, and again, when you put St. Thomas More in a situation like this where they're 3rd and 20, it's difficult when you're not a true passing football team.
Yeah, they've lost 8 yards the last 2 plays thanks to a sack and a nice job by the interior defensive lineman. Is now De Lazari, the quarterback, 1 in the backfield, 2 receivers each side. Mount Doug will show 4 up front. De Lazari once again feels the pressure. He had nowhere to go, and that's a great job by the defensive backs. The blanket coverage didn't allow him anything to throw to.
Yeah, he did. And, a lot of people will say, well, how come De Lazari didn't, make a play on that? But when you look down the field and you see all the receivers covered, that takes a lot of discipline by the quarterback not to get rid of the ball, not to throw the ball into coverage. And you know what? Hey, they're going to get the ball back sooner or later, but, a good job of not forcing the ball down the field, not forcing anything, and, throwing in and, possible interception. So, though they didn't complete the ball, they didn't maintain this drive, they're going to still win the field position game with, only 5 minutes left in the second quarter.
It's big number 50, Enrique Del Alcazar for Mount Doug that caused that play to happen, fending off the offensive lineman trying to block him. And the punt not very far.
Yeah, and just as I said, the field position game. But when you've got that kind of rugby style punt that they do, oftentimes, the punter, as you can see, kind of rolls to one side or the other and kicks the ball while he's running. And it's not the traditional type of punt. So the disadvantage of that is, at times you're going to shank one once in a while. Or you're not going to get that ball solid on your foot, and that's exactly what happened in that in that situation. So big part of this football game right now. Mount Doug up 14-7. Well, 5 minutes left, of course, in the second quarter, and they've got the ball with fairly decent field position on the 35-yard line. Looking at Coach Townsend now, he's signaling a new play. He sees something that he likes out there, and just an inside dive, but nice job. Oh,
hand off to Primo. Oh, and he slipped ahead. It looked like he was down at contact.
He really did, didn't he?
He is a bulldozer, though, and he plowed his way through, and he'll pick up a big first down for the Mount Doug Rams.
Yeah, and I tell you go through, these Mount Doug players roster over the years, and, the number one thing that comes to mind when you talk about Mount Doug is heart, right? These players play with heart, whether you talk about a Marcus Davis or Terrell Davis or, guys like Gideon Kremler. Those are the guys, Zach Kremler. You know what? Those guys they play with heart, man. They've got a lot of pride in this football program and what they do out there. They know that the guys ahead of them in previous years have won championships, and they want to continue on winning championships.
Peter Prumo, once again, caught as soon as he got the ball, dragged two defenders down. He is picking up hard yards, and in fact, he is making them his little plaything.
Yeah, well, exactly. With 4 minutes left right now, Mount Doug is going to take a good look at the clock right now. They would ideally like to be able to score, but not score too early, right? They don't want to score too early and get the ball back to St. Thomas More. So going to be interesting to see how the clock management of Coach Townsend. He's looking up at that scoreboard. He's looking up at that clock. He knows exactly the situation, and obviously would like to put another score up on the board before the end of the half.
So pass incomplete, looking for Luke Kedves, number 18, over the middle. But I think that Hunter Swift could anticipate that there was pressure. And once again, St. Thomas More lining up 5 near the line to maybe bring a little bit of sweat to see what kind of deodorant Mr. Swift is wearing.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see what happens here. But you know what? Good call in this situation. Again, a critical time of the football game with 4 minutes left in the second quarter. If you're not sure, if you don't feel that your players are confident in the coverage that you've called, the defense that you call, why not call a timeout? Get out there, explain the situation, make sure you coach them up, and, you're ready to defend this. Because I tell you right now, if you have a weakness or you blow a coverage against Mount Doug, Coach Townsend and the Mount Doug Rams, they will find a way to exploit that weakness. They will find a way to exploit that missed coverage or that, missed assignment on the defensive side of the football.
Well, I won't be surprised if they haven't tried to soften up the defense with Primo a couple of times, and then they go to the air to Lucas maybe once again, because he has looked unstoppable. When they've gotten the ball in the right place for him to catch that in stride, my goodness, as good as the defensive backs are for St. Thomas More, it is a struggle to keep that lean 6'3" receiver away from with his hands on the ball. 4:06 remaining. Jay Prepcheck. My name's Warren Andrews, SportsCanada.TV. Great to bring you the quarterfinal game here, Triple A. As Mount Doug once again goes to the air, and that one intercepted. Primo almost looked like he was held up, but the officials didn't throw the flag. I think he was looking at them, but got a lick on the defensive back after he picked that up. Number 10, Tate Friesen, who was burned on the previous play, gets his Montezuma's revenge on that one.
Yeah, exactly. And, a good job by St. Thomas More to call that timeout, make sure that they had that coverage, that deep coverage. They certainly, I can tell you right now that the defensive coaches in the huddle said they're going to go deep. They're going to try to get the ball back into the outstanding receiver's hands of Joe Lucas, and that's exactly what Mark Townsend tried to do, is go deep to Lucas. Excellent job by the St. Thomas More Knights. Good job of redeeming himself by Tate Friesen. Nice pick.
Just under 4 minutes remaining here in the first half, and St. Thomas More down by a major. Mount Doug showing pressure. Hand off to Osho, gliding around one way, and then those big beefy bodies of the Rams will stymie him as he made his way around the right side.
Exactly, and again, clock management is so important right now. St. Thomas More, the clock is going to continue to tick, and with them being a run-oriented football team, if they are going to be, they have to basically make a decision right now, right? Are we going to be aggressively attacking this defense, or are we just going to be happy with kind of grinding the clock and running it through as we progress through the latter part of this first half?
They haven't done a lot of getting Osho out of the backfield and throwing to him, and he led the team with 15 receptions this year.
Yeah, exactly. Good point. So, maybe a screen pass coming up, try to get the ball out quickly. We've certainly seen the early swing passes to Osho in the flat, but, Mount Doug did a nice job of nullifying, taking those ones away.
De Lazare did a good job of drawing the defense off, and they'll pick up a few extra yards without the clock ticking. 3:16 still remaining, second down. 4 yards to go now as the ball is on the 26-yard line. De Lazare, meticulous, surveys the defense as they'll show 4 with pressure. And you talked about there's a swing pass to Osho, trying to make his way outside and looked like the Pied Piper dragging along the defenders there. And he picked up, I think, enough for a first down, though, on the play.
Yeah, exactly. So with the offside against the Rams on the previous play, that certainly gets him into a better situation, St. Thomas More, offensively speaking. So get the ball out to Osho in the open field. The advantage of that, him getting out of bounds, them, resetting the chains, stopping the clock. So 3 minutes left again, St. Thomas More. Let's see if they can continue to generate this drive.
They've been a resilient bunch. You look at that exhibition game, I think, against Vancouver College earlier in the year. They didn't have enough players, but they played half the game anyway before calling it off. That's the last time they tasted defeat this season, as the handoff right up the middle draw play will pick up 2 maybe on that. But they didn't come in. The coach said, he said, we don't expect to be the top team. They weren't expecting that. They were just hoping to be a decent team.
Yeah, exactly, and they just kept it rolling, and that's what, is going to happen. And, a lot of these players are fifth-year guys. A lot of these guys, St. Thomas More, one thing about St. Thomas More, they've always had outstanding grade 8 teams, done a good job of developing that program and developing the players from grade 8 all the way through. And that a lot of these players, especially the grade 12s, this is their 5th year of playing football with the St. Thomas More Knights.
Well, the roof is closed as they hand off the ball to Osho, and his run is closed down on a great defensive play by number 3, Oshan Thomas.
Nice job by Oshan, not allowing him to get to the outside. And again, the advantage of that particular play is not only was the tackle made, but he also got tackled inbound. So, St. Thomas More attempt at, being aggressive on this particular drive looks like it's kind of nullified. Though it's going to be interesting to see on 3rd and 10, are they going to throw a pass here, or are they going to just kind of be happy with running the clock out?
Well, you'd think they're going to have to do at least one big play, either a big running play or a big pass to get themselves to at least within field goal position if they want to put some more points on the board. De Lazare, one in the backfield. Play action, rolls outside. His receiver actually blew a tire. He'll float that up, and that one picked off by the Mount Doug Rams, and that had disaster written all over it from the snap.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not quite sure what the design of that football play was, because De Lazare rolled out to his right-hand side, but the wide receiver on that particular side didn't actually run a route. I think you mentioned that.
Well, he fell down. He tripped.
Okay.
I think you'll see, if we see the
here
replay here, he kind of was tripped over, and by the time he tried to throw it to him, he hadn't got up in time. Number 82 for the St. Thomas Moors, their fine receiver, Alex Cordero. Right over the middle. Not sure if he tripped over his feet or a defender, but nonetheless, 24 with a big interception. And that player is Peter Primo, so do it on both sides of the ball.
A little reverse pass. Here it is. There's your trickery. What a time to run it.
There's the pass, and it's caught
boy,
to the end zone. Touchdown, Mount Doug Rams. Number 10, Lyndon Williams.
Yeah, another veteran of this football program. I tell you what, there's Coach Townsend pulling out his bag of tricks a little after the turnover. He knew he had that in his mind, game planning all week long. After turnover in that situation, we are going to run the reverse pass, and that's exactly what they did. Here we go. So there's your talented Joel Lucas. He didn't have a lot of time to throw that football, but wasn't the best of passes. But I tell you what, he got it out there, and that's the main thing. Great call by Coach Townsend. Great job by the Rams to go up by 2 touchdowns.
I think he figured it's a free play. We weren't expecting to get the ball back. We got it back. Let's have some fun.
Absolutely.
Now the kick is up. And the kick is good. And now it's a 21-7 lead for the Mount Doug Rams over the 7-0 St. Thomas More Knights, who haven't faced a ton of adversity. They've had a couple of close games, but they've been in the driver's seat more games than not this year, Jay.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, when you have a team like St. Thomas More, again, who's not necessarily a dominating passing type team, they're more of a ground, you know, they're going to grind it out, use their speed on running the football. When you get down by 2 touchdowns, especially against a team, you know, a veteran team like the Rams, it's, you know, it's certainly going to be, you know, a difficult task for them to come back. But you know what? There is lots of time. Obviously, a whole half of football left to play in this game. And right now, the St. Thomas More, they're going to go in at halftime. They're going to just kind of regroup and, you know, tell the kids that, hey, guys, we're in this football game. A couple of big plays against us. It's really been a big play-generated offense. I mean, you see the long passes, and that's going to happen. There you go.
Coombs with the quick little kick and squeezes into the hands of number 23, the guy that kicked it. I think that was Coombs recovering that.
Wow. And that's, you know, we talked about St. Thomas More running the short kick earlier, and that was actually a crucial play earlier, right? Because when St. Thomas More ran the short kick, Mount Doug was able to recover it, throw the deep pass, and go up for their second touchdown, I believe, right? So, and there's a, you know, and you know what, Mount Doug, they practice this. They actually practice the kicker kicking it right at the defender. Maybe the Whitecaps should start looking at some of these kickers for the Mount Doug Rams.
Well, they got the new German technical director. Maybe he's here scouting today.
Exactly.
So, and that went off of the hands, unfortunately, of Kane Ferrara, the 6'1", 180-pound tight end and offensive outside linebacker, pardon me, and he was not expecting that. And games like this, they've been so close, and St. Thomas More has taken their time getting it downfield, and maybe a turnover happens, and Mount Doug, boy, they're like a quarterback factory, even though I know the quarterback didn't throw it that last time, but just like South Delta, they just seem to come up with these great kids that do such a fine job. You had Kremler there for 4 years, winning 2 championships. And, you know, much like South Delta, where you went from Kirk, who's now a coach there, to Michael Calvert, who you had at UBC, to now Ben McDonald, and then the young fellow who's going to have his hands full tonight. Yeah,
Hunter Norman is filled in admirably at quarterback. Of course, led South Delta to a big victory over New Westminster. So Hunter Norman, great job, you know, continuing on after Ben McDonald got hurt and leading the charge. That South Delta team, boy, they sure got some dangerous weapons at receiver.
So at 7:30, that game is Hunter Swift living up to his last name as he will dodge the tackle and make his way up. However, there is a flag on the field at the 50-yard line.
Yeah, this is an interesting part of this football game right now. When you've got, you know, when you wind down near the end of the half, and boy, if the Mount Doug can score here, and that's going to kill you right there. Penalties like that. So let's see if let's see now what the philosophy, what the posture is of Coach Townsend. Is he going to be aggressive here? Is he going to be aggressive with only a minute left? And he's got the firepower. He's got the, you know, he certainly has the players to get the ball downfield. Let's see if he's, you know, going to fairly safe, maybe a screen, get a receiver screen.
I think that this is just me, and I'm not Coach Townsend. I don't have any of his pedigree when it comes to calling plays, but I wouldn't be surprised you get maybe a running play, a little screen pass, and then you go for the house on the last play of the first half. There's the pitch outside. Just a short game, but he stays in bounds. It was number 4 for the Mount Doug Rams, Joe Lucas. So they've tried him down the field. They want to keep him involved here on a nice little pitch.
And here the Rams are going on the ball. They've all looked over at Coach Townsend. He's signaling the play. See if they go with a little wheel route. Oh, he's staying inside trap.
Primo, once again, a hard man to take down, like Jason Bourne.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. There you go. Good comparison.
They'll pick up a couple more, and there's 13 seconds left, so one more play, and we'll see. Does he have the cojones, as our friends down south would say, to go for the distance, or kind of gobble up the clock with not much time left? In fact, it looks like they're just going to call it. 1 second to go.
Yeah, no, he's still got one play left, so he's, you know, again, Mark is, he's thinking it over right now. He's thinking, you know what? I tell you what, we've got, maybe if they were a little, about 10 yards further downfield, they would probably maybe just throw it up as a Hail Mary, right? But let's see if they decide to well, it's going to be interesting to see the call here for Coach Townsend. You can always throw it up if you get a pass interference penalty. You know, of course, a half can't end on a penalty. So let's see if he is going to take a little bit of a shot here.
If you're St. Thomas More, do you not double team Joe Lucas?
Yeah, well, I would definitely have a defender up right in his face at the line of scrimmage, bumping him and play a defender over top. But you know that St. Thomas More is going to line up 4 or 5 guys deep, you know, on this particular defensive formation with their defensive backs.
Here's the other thing. If you're St. Thomas More, would you not maybe bring a quick blitz and try to cause a turnover and smashing down that quarterback?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you do bring a blitz, you're taking a chance and you're going to be opening up another area, right? So
the chess match continues between these
absolutely
football minds.
Great. That's the great thing about football, right?
Final play, barring a penalty, Mount Doug Rams.
He's going to go deep
up
right
2
down
majors. Here, They'll load up 3 receivers to the far side. Swift, pressure from behind, holds onto it, throws it up, and it's caught. But the first half will come to an end off the nice reception by number 18, Luke Kedves. Nice reception, 30 yards on the play, and
adds the stats.
Positive vibes in the last 2 minutes. Mount Doug blew this game open a bit, and St. Thomas More is going to have to go back to the drawing board. And one final question for you before we take a break. If you're the Knights, what are you talking to your team about there to get them composed?
Hey, we're still in this football game. We're only down by 2 scores. We're going to get the ball to, you know, in the third quarter, we're going to take the ball down and score. It's going to be a 1-score game after that. We're going to continue to play good, tough defense. We're going to maintain and stay with our game plan. No panicking at this time. We are in this football game.
That's Jay Prepchuk. I'm Warren Andrews, SportsCanada.TV. You've got it on the quarterfinals as the Rams lead the Knights 21-7.
I ain't so proud. I couldn't be there, even when I tried. You don't believe it. We do this every time. Seasons change and our love went cold. Feed the flag 'cause we can't let it go. Run away while we're running in circles. Run away I said I can't stay. Do I have to give a reason? It's just me, it's what I want. So how do we get here? 3 weeks now, we've been so caught up. Better if we do this on our own. Before I love you, I'm gonna leave you, Before I'm someone you leave behind, I'll break your heart so you don't break mine. Before I love you, I'm gonna leave you, Even if I am not here to stay, I still want your heart.
Your heart for takeaway. 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 Your heart for takeaway.
Fate, is that what came between us, or did we do this on our own? So how do we get here? I'm asking myself why I'm so caught up. Better if we do this on our own. Before I love you, I'm gonna leave you, Before I'm someone you leave behind, I'll break your heart so you don't break mine. Before I love you, I'm gonna leave you, Even if I am not here to stay, I still want your heart.
Your heart for takeaway. 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 Your heart for takeaway.
Before I love you, I'm gonna leave you, Before I'm someone you leave behind, I'll break. I don't want this night to end. It's closing time, so leave with me again. Yeah, you got all my love to spend. Oh, let's find a place where happiness begins. We don't dance in the living room, slave to the way you move. Hurts when I'm leaving you. Hey, just dance in the living room, love with an attitude, drunk doing 80s groove. Hey, we don't dance in the living room, slave to the way you move. Hurts when I'm leaving you. Hey, dance in the living room, love with an attitude, drunk. It's only you, man, you know that it's real. So why would you fight or try to deny the way that you feel? Oh baby, can't fool me. Your body's got other plans, so stop pretending you're shy. Just come on and dance, 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 dance. Oh. Early morning, light. Only getting up to close the blinds. Oh, I'm praying you don't change your mind, 'cause leaving now just don't feel right. Let's do
you fight or try to deny the way that you feel. Oh, baby, you can't fool me. Your body's got all the plans, so stop pretending you're shy. Just come on and dance, 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 dance. Oh, only human. It's only human. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Only human. It's only human. Paradise city where the grass is green and the girls are pretty. Oh, won't you please take me home? Take me down to the paradise city where the grass is green and the girls are pretty. Oh, won't you please take me home? Just imagine living under the street. I'm a hot cage that's tough to beat. I'm your charity case, go buy me something to eat. I'll pay you at another time. Take it to the end of the line. Rags and riches, oh, so they say. You gotta keep pushing for the fortune and fame. You know it's all a gamble when it's just a game. You treat it like a capital crime. Everybody's going to time. Take me down to the paradise city where the grass is green and the girls are pretty. Oh, won't you please take me home? Yeah, yeah. Take me down to the paradise city where the grass is green and the girls are pretty. Take me home.
While little Axl Rose revving up the crowd here on a Saturday evening. This is the fourth of 5 games in the Subway Bowl, brought to you by SportsCanada.TV. Good evening. If you're just joining us, you've missed a good one. It's Warren Andrews along with Jay Prepchuk. The St. Thomas More Knights, they came in 7-0. They find themselves trailing 21-7, thanks to really a 2-minute span, Jay, where you had the onside kick recovered and you had a little trickery thrown in there as Mr. Lucas went from receiving touchdowns to throwing one.
Yeah, exactly, and that's going to happen when you play against a team like Mount Doug, just so powerful. And you know those mistakes that you make, those two turnovers, right? The interception, of course, by Primo, and recovering the onside kick was really the difference, wasn't it?
It was, and now a little salt to the wounds as Mount Doug gets to receive the ball after owning it in that fourth quarter, it seemed. Spinning away off of a tackle, Lyndon Williams, and then he's brought down. And quickly looking at the numbers, we'll see the Rams find quarterback Hunter Swift, the grade 10. I don't have yardage, but I can tell you he was 9 of 14, 2 touchdowns and an interception. And one of his favorite targets was Lucas, who had 3 receptions, including the touchdown, and threw one for a touchdown, too.
Yeah, exactly. And, the return man there, Lyndon Williams, a veteran, did a nice job there of catching the pass from Joe Lucas, right? And, getting into the end zone to, put the Rams up 21-7.
Swift now with 1 in the backfield, and there's the handoff. And boy, whatever was said in the dressing room rings true as they had 4 defenders swarming number 7, Jackson Reed, on that carry.
Yeah, there's the big man, Keyshawn Carter, of course, making a big play. And, he was the one individual. When I talked to Mark Townsend, he mentioned one name for St. Thomas More. Guess who it was? Number 54.
Swift will roll out to the left and throws that one on a rope and finds his man, Joe Lucas. And that's a pickup of about 6 maybe on the play, but they had 13 to go.
Nice patience, little rollout pass to the left-hand side, flooding that flank out there to the St. Thomas More right-hand side. Good job by Hunter Swift of being patient and picking up the open receiver.
What I like what I'm seeing from him, and you'll appreciate that being a quarterback, he's throwing it where only the receiver can get it more times than not.
Yeah, he really is. And again, I've been impressed by the quarterback play all day today.
We've seen BC is just loaded with great quarterbacks, aren't they, at the high school position?
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. And it's great
Double
to
A,
see.
triple A.
Yeah, it really is. And it's good to see, the quarterback play improving. And, of course, a lot of those kids have, I've been fortunate enough to coach a lot of those kids in my camps.
I was going to say the one maybe factor that ties them together, I see the Facebook and Twitter posts, and a lot of these kids have attended a Prep Chuck quarterback camp and kind of sharpening their tools.
Well, you know what? Anytime you're able to, polish your skills, whatever, sport you play in this day and age, it's so competitive out there now, right? And, whether it's weight training or working with a speed coach, or if you're a quarterback or receiving, coming to some of the camps that we're able to offer, you know what? You're going to have that edge, right? And you can tell the players that have put in the extra time. And, some of the players. We've got lots of players around the province that I've worked with for, 4 or 5 years that are, starting to come into their own, starting to excel. And I'm proud of those kids. I know their parents are. And it's not by fluke, though, right? It's a lot of hard work.
3rd and 3 now. Big down here for Mount Doug, trying to extend this drive. Swift fumbles the handoff, and that one recovered by the St. Thomas More Knights. And they needed a spark, and they got one courtesy of their defense, number 74, Bryson Van Loo.
It looked like that on that particular play. Hunter Swift wasn't quite sure if he was to give the ball or not give the ball. And in that situation there, the ball came loose, and a nice job. That's exactly what St. Thomas More needed, is a turnover early in the 3rd quarter. Let's see if they can capitalize on that as they're going to continue to run the football.
Ball on the 23-yard line now, and here comes Anthony DeLazari in the gun, flanked by Osho. 2 receivers near hash, one to the far side. Hand off to Osho, looking for a hole, and he will back his way up for a gain of about 3, maybe 4 on the play.
Yeah, and you notice where these teams are going to run. They're going to run right over their big tackles. We saw that with the Langley Saints earlier today, running. I would say about 75% of their run plays were right over their big old right side of their offensive line, which was a dominant force today for that for the Langley Saints.
20 carries now on the day for Nick Osho to go with a couple of receptions and make that 21. Hey, and when you're going, why not? Picks up another 3-4 yards.
Yeah, and let's go back to the keys of the football game. When we talked to Coach Delzari during the week, he said he gave me the 3 keys on offense as far as they were concerned. Is number 1, guess what, with St. Thomas More? Establish the run. Of course, it's always going to be establish the run. Number 2, look after the ball. Number 3, use our speed to our advantage. So let's see if they can, get to those keys of the football game and continue to run the ball.
St. Thomas More, look for Ricky Parsons. He's the receiver closest to us here on the left side. Instead, they'll go for the handoff, trying to sweep around. That one will be just shy of the first down, as they needed 3 and they maybe only got 1 more. That brings up a huge 4th down.
Yeah, exactly. And this is going to be a big part of this football game right here. Let's see if the referees are going to. Are they going to ask for a measurement? No, they're going to.
No, they're still at least a yard short, maybe 2.
Yeah, good thing you got good eyes out there. I can't.
Thank you, doctors, for the prescription.
I gotcha. So here we go. It's what field position? 14-yard line on the Mount Doug 14-yard line. 4th down. They're still in gun. Look for Oshu to get the football here off the left tackle.
Just 1 in the backfield now. 2 receivers each side. Hand up right up the middle. Squeezing ahead, and I think he's got enough for the first down.
Absolutely, but it wasn't until the second effort, and a nice job in there again by Jack Wagner, one of our, one of the veterans for the St. Thomas More Knights football team. Jack Wagner, again, when you need a play, you go to your veterans, and Jack Wagner certainly has been a veteran of this football program.
139 yards on 26 carries this year. And then he also had another 8 receptions for 121 yards, which led this St. Thomas More air attack.
Yeah, look for St. Thomas More to continue to pound that rock. Look for a little jet sweep action and running inside in between the tackles.
They'll keep Wagner in the backfield. Now as Mount Doug shows pressure. Fumble, it's in the feet, it's loose, and I think Mount Doug has come back with the ball.
Wow, this is going to be an interesting call here. Let's see what the referee says.
Oh, no, St. Thomas More somehow held on to, I think it was number 6, and that is Ricky Parsons, who managed to find the rock. And a lot of people eating popcorn in between periods because there's a lot of butter on the fingers.
It looks that way, that's for sure. Good one, Warren.
Thank you. Once in a while. Fumble recovered.
Okay, let's see what Lee has to say as our head referee here. We're just, notice they put the big man, number 88, in there at fullback as a lead blocker, and we've got a, boy that size. We don't have 80. Do we have 80? Oh, there we go. There, Zach Kabid. It looks like 240 pounds when they're putting him at fullback. That was a roster change earlier. He went from offensive lineman to number 88, so he could play fullback, and certainly leading the way through there creates some big gaps.
That was an incredible fumble recovery. He had to go through the big legs of the defensive player to somehow wrangle that ball out and keep possession. If they can score here, he's the unsung hero on that play. De Lazari in the gun, flanked by one, pressure from Mount Doug. Handoff, Osho squeezes ahead, lunges for the end zone, but he can't quite find the stretch. Looking like a Tennessee Titan against the St. Louis Rams in the old Super Bowl.
Who was it? Dyson?
I believe it was. I believe it was.
I don't know how we remember these things, right? We don't remember what day it is.
We can't tell you who's the top of the pop charts, but we can tell you who won the Super Bowl back 10 years ago. 7:53 remaining, third quarter. St. Thomas More.
Oh boy, let's see if there's early motion here. Early motion is going to back this up. Or maybe we got timeout. Offside.
Against
defense.
Mount Doug?
Yeah. There you go.
That's the first time in 3 drives, Jay, that they've had something positive go for them when they were threatening to score.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because that Mount Doug defense, their goal line defense is certainly tightened up and created some havoc for that St. Thomas More offense.
Led by big number 76, Matt Unstead, the all-star, 295 pounds and 6'3".
Yeah.
Do not want to meet him in a dark alley. Is Osho. Fumble again, and it is recovered, and it is touchdown, St. Thomas More. Whew. It's like a Clint Eastwood movie from the 70s, any which way but loose. They're fumbling it and recovering it. It ain't pretty, but it works.
I tell you, very, very fortunate. 2 fumbles on that drive, and they're coming off the field. Osho's coming off the field. His head's down a little bit. He's going, you know what, we're pretty lucky here to score this touchdown after 2 fumbles in critical situations.
Is that ball slippery? And I'm being serious because that's 2 on the same drive.
That it shouldn't happen. I mean, I know Hunter, really we've had the 3 fumbles, right? Hunter Swift is, he fumbled to the turnover there that led to this score, of course. So there you go with, just how important obviously turnovers are, right? The short kickoff that didn't work for St. Thomas More, interception by Delzari, and that particular fumble by Hunter Swift 6 plays ago, and there you go. There's 3 touchdowns in this football game, right? So, that's going to happen, right? You're going to make mistakes. Things are going to happen. But, boy, I tell you, St. Thomas More, that's exactly, what they ordered as far as halftime. You say, what did they talk about at halftime? Well, we're going to get the ball to start the third quarter. We're going to get the ball on our first possession in the third quarter, and we're going to score. That's exactly what happened. So, you know what? Let's see if Mount Doug can kind of answer back a little bit. We know they're hurting. We know that they're, a little bit undermanned right now, but the pride of the Mount Doug Rams and the excellent coaching by Mark Townsend and his staff are, really keeping the Mount Doug Rams in this football game.
The man kicking off, Alex Cordiero, was the man that recovered the ball in the end zone and gets the glory for it with the touchdown. Kicked the point after attempt, and then kicks off, and the Mount Doug Rams with Mr. Lyndon Williams. Took a while to be wrangled, but finally he's dropped down at the 20-yard line, and that's where the Mount Doug Rams will go to work. And
yeah, nice job by the kickoff team of the St. Thomas More Knights to kind of pin Mount Doug deep. And you know, when you start with the ball on your own 20-yard line, you know that's you got to go 80 yards obviously to score a touchdown here, and so that's going to take some pretty consistent play on the part of the Rams, who usually, they're a big play team, right? So they like to strike quickly, they like to put it up there, and let's see what position Mark wants to take right now, if he's going to run the ball or if he's going to put the ball up in the air.
7:10 remaining here in the third quarter. It's a 1-touchdown lead for the Mount Doug Rams as they will take over at their own 20. You've got Joe Lucas lined up to the far hash. However, referee blowing the whistle with a timeout. Mount Doug maybe not liking the look of what they're seeing in the coaching staff, recognizing we need to take control of this game a bit here.
Yeah, exactly. And, it's going to be interesting. The one kind of a sideline of this game right now is going to be interesting to see how Hunter Swift, the grade 10 quarterback, bounces back after that, very crucial turnover that he had in the last possession of the game. So, again, Mark Townsend seeing the situation, knowing the importance of this situation, knowing that, this is a critical, crucial drive for them right now. Let's maintain the ball. Let's just call timeout. Let's get ourselves set and make sure that everybody knows what their assignments are.
Well, if they do decide to kind of key on Lucas, the St. Thomas More Knights, Lyndon Williams, number 10, number 6, Glenn Rose, also very capable receivers, 14 receptions for Williams and 260 yards. And he's proved he's been a factor in this game so far on both sides of the ball. And he'll line up to the near hash. Over there's the handoff. Oh, and he was met like a Walmart greeter at the door. Great play there by number 82. That's Alex Cordero doing it all on both sides.
Yeah, he really is, kicking and kicking the football as well, right? Outstanding kickoffs by him, but scoring a touchdown and
Triple
coming
threat.
in and doing an excellent job, dropping Mount Doug for a 4-yard loss. And Mount Doug now backed up to their own 17-yard line.
Hunter Swift, and he slips around the tackle, and I think he just ran out of gas after avoiding being mauled by big number 74 in red,
Yeah.
That Bryson Van Loo.
I think he kind of surprised himself that he was still standing. He was, I'm still standing. Maybe I should make a play here.
Exactly. I know that's impressive right there, enough that he somehow managed to get there. Oh, he actually tripped him up. That was a great play by Van Loo. He didn't tackle him, but he tripped him up as he was trying to get away. Swift now in a big third down, and this St. Thomas More Knights defense once again, and you wonder, is that going to be a grounding, as he was on his way to the turf before he threw that. Yeah, there's the flag. Back-to-back sacks by this Knights defense, Jay.
Yeah, that's going to drop him back about another 5-6 yards. Again, the infraction is going to be marked off from the spot of the throw. So again, now the Mount Doug is, threw the ball approximately from around the 12-yard line, going to back him up some more. So, really putting the Rams in a deep hole here. Yep, again, 5-yard penalty from the spot of the throw.
Well, you know what, and it's tough when you've got the likes of 65 Luca Ilanardo, who's an all-star, and then Keyshawn Carter. You've got those big boys up front, all-star linebackers, and 5 all-stars in all for St. Thomas More, the most in their conference.
Yeah, Mount Doug seems just a little bit disorganized on 5.
Do you take the safety?
9,
No, I
10.
guess you don't.
I think they only had 10 players on the field on that particular punt.
And a nice kick, too.
Nice kick.
Wow, and you got a great bounce.
Yeah, and no return. Wow.
Fantastic job by the Rams special teams unit to get themselves out of a bit of hot water there.
Yeah, you'd think that maybe the return man, Ricky Parsons, want to catch that ball, try to catch that ball in the air and get some positive yards on that. A little bit of a break for Mount Doug there. It is, nice kick. And again, we talk, all the time about how important special teams are and how important, especially when you get in playoff games, especially when you have two teams that are so evenly matched in such a close contest like this. And, the kicking game could be the difference.
5:38 remaining in the third quarter. 21-14 lead for the Mount Doug Rams. St. Thomas More Knights will have the rock. They'll get things underway from about their 45-yard line. One in the backfield, and there's the handoff. Wagner plows ahead. A gain of 2, maybe 3 on the play.
Nice job by Ocean Thomas from that linebacker position from Mount Doug, just from his middle linebacker position, reading the play, patient, stepping up, outstanding tackle, keeping his pad level low, and an excellent form tackle. And there you go with the Rams swarming defense.
Hard man to bring down, though, and that's kind of what Wagner brings, more of the smash mouth kind of full back, like back there, just right up the middle, north to south.
Yeah, 210 pounds is he's a big kid, big strong kid, and again, a nice job by Mount Doug to step up and make the play.
Decent crowd on hand, and they are making some noise. You see the colors purple, and I think there's a little more red here from Burnaby. The island a little bit more, trying to take that BC ferry across.
Yeah, that's for sure. Fortunate no ferry delays. It was good to see that even though we had lots of rain, of course. How was it when you came in? I've been inside since 8:30 here, so I don't know. Is it a little ugly out there, a little miserable?
It's not bad. We can't complain. It's almost the middle of November, and we're dealing with some rain and wind. So I'm sure the folks in Saskatchewan and Alberta are saying, "Poor you."
Yeah, well, especially after watching that Calgary-Winnipeg game last weekend and the blowing snow and the cold in Calgary, I would not want it to have been part of that football game. That's for sure.
That's why they make such good football players in the prairies. They're so used to the tough conditions.
Exactly.
De Lazari with the handoff. Osho slicing ahead. He'll pick up 6 or 7 on the play. You just look at him reading between the tackles.
Yeah.
He doesn't need much. He runs so good that way.
Yeah, very similar to Johnson with for Vancouver College. Just that, that acceleration, right? And again, look at, drags, tacklers. You got some good tacklers there. Cole Bunting there that, again, big difference between 3rd and 5 and, 3rd and 7 and all extra effort. Good job by the running back.
23 carries now for Nick Osho on the day. De Lazari feeling the heat. He's gone 7 of 10 on the day. Handoff, Osho, stiff arm, slips ahead. Osho still on his feet. Nick Osho all the way down inside the 30-yard line to about the 28, and that was pure magic.
That really was, and you know what? Mount Doug had a great call bringing the outside linebackers out of their 40 look, and I tell you, they had him nailed for a 3-yard loss, but right there, a great forearm, great stiff arm, and boy, he was able to just maintain his balance, and the veteran Jackson Reed had him deep in the backfield, but a great job by Osho to break that tackle, use a little straight arm there, and get the ball downfield. Again, you talk about big plays in a football game. When you got a 3rd and 5 in this situation like that, and St. Thomas More is able to capitalize and get a first down on that kind of play, boy, I tell you, those are plays that, to keep a drive going in a close game like this, it's are really, really crucial plays.
I think I've discovered why the ball was slipping out of people's hands is because they were trying to tackle Osho and the grease got on their hands.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
He's been incredible, slipping and sliding through tackles.
He really has.
Keeps the drive alive. He's on the bench right now.
Wagner in there, tailback maybe? Or
number 6, it looks like it's going to be Ricky Parsons.
Ricky Parsons, another dangerous football player for the St. Thomas More Knights.
Might be going to the air, though. They've got 2 lined up to the far side, 1 to the near side. Mount Doug showing pressure. No, there's a handoff to Parsons. And he'll slide ahead. Good job reading his way through the tackles. Gets a gain of about 4 on the play.
Yeah, again, a veteran player with this football program. And Ricky Parsons does a nice job of picking up a good chunk of yardage. Just, again, patient running. St. Thomas More with their regular physical style of running the football between the tackles. Nice job by Parsons picking away, gaining 5 yards on first down. Good field position all the way down to the 23-yard lines of the Mount Doug Rams.
3:10 remaining here in the third quarter. Mount Doug showing blitz. They'll bring up a 5 to the line. Hand off to Parsons. Looks for the gap, and he found it, but then the Mount Doug Rams did a terrific job. Number 13, Cole Bunting, got his paw on him to stop him from getting a huge gain.
Yeah, a little bit of a change of pace there. Ricky Parsons coming in there at the tailback position, running off left tackle, then running off right tackle. Good job by number 55, the right guard of the St. Thomas More Knights, pulling and getting a good kick-out block. Good job by Evan March. You know, we just don't get a chance to mention the big Hoggies up front, so we'll try to do that as we progress through this second half. But nice job by number 55, Evan Marsh. Great kick-out block.
They're doing a nice job, too, of allowing De Lazari enough time to create the play. He hasn't gone to the air for a while, though. And he won't hear. Parsons met. Parsons dropped. And there's a tackle by number 7, Jackson Reed.
Yeah, you know that Jackson Reed is not happy with the fact that he missed that tackle 4 plays ago that was able to spring St. Thomas More to that very, very important first down. So Jackson Reed's not going to miss too many tackles. And again, blitzing from his outside linebacker position. And that's exactly what Mount Doug's going to do now. You get inside their 20-yard line, and they're going to throw all sorts of different blitzes at you.
7th play of the drive for the St. Thomas More Knights here, looking to tie this game. 1:54 left here in the third quarter. Mount Doug once again looks like they're bringing the house. De Lazari, the quarterback, settles things down. He just chucked that one into the turf.
I think he got bumped here by, I don't know if it was one of his own players or if it was a defender there. But, yeah, you could tell. You were exactly right there, Warren. The linebackers for Mount Doug Rams started to creep up. They were bringing pressure. They were in cover 0 there. They had all their defensive backs covering an individual. They had no middle safety on that particular play. And Delzari read it. He read it, identified what was going on, and did a good job of just trying to get the ball out quickly.
Vic Domingo, number 12, will make his way out to the receiver position. The near side, they'll also change out a couple of offensive linemen. St. Thomas More Knights, 3rd and 12, looking to keep this drive alive and tie this game up. And they go to their big man, Nick Osho, and he runs into a big pile, and he'll be driven back 2 more yards. And it looks like it'll be 4th and 14. So, Coach Prepchuk, do you go for the field goal, or do you think that you got a trick up your sleeve and you go for that first down or touchdown?
You know what? I think they got to, unfortunately, they got to go for it right now. I mean, they're, though the kicker, we noticed that some of the kickoffs today by Cordero was, he's got a strong leg. I think they're going to call timeout and maybe think about it here. Let's see what we have here. We would have a 16 and 33-yard field goal attempt.
It's doable.
Doable. And you know what? I can remember this exact position because I think it was it last year that I was standing right on the sidelines when Mount Doug had this exact field position against Vancouver College, last play of the game, and they kicked the winning field goal. Right?
Woo!
It was actually Jackson Reed that kicked the winning field goal from almost that exact position, and that's what they're going to do. Line up for field goal. I think it's a good call. And again, as we said, I think he's got the leg and be able to put this through.
And 20 years from now, when they have their football reunion, the yardage is going to grow, and the pressure that he faced is going to grow, and it's going to be a beautiful story over some cold beverages.
Absolutely.
1:20 to go here, and Cordero with the kick, and it is up, and it floats.
Short.
And he got it. Yeah,
there you go.
It looked like an Aussie rules kick
Absolutely,
as
it
it just
really
kind of slid in there.
Buddy, hey, it's gonna work. That's a big 3 points, boy. I tell you, that St. Thomas More continue to rumble and outscoring the Rams so far, 10-0 so far in this second half here. So again, the game plan is working for Coach Delzari, as he talked about earlier, establishing that run, look after the football, use their speed to their advantage, right? On defense now, he's got to continue to play fast, intense, and physical defense, right? But it's really the big play. I mean, that could be, so far, that is the key to this football game is, the big plays that Mount Doug has been able to manufacture in the first half.
Now, Mount Doug came out huge at the end of that second quarter, but since then, you look at the first drive they had, there was the fumble recovery by St. Thomas More. Second drive they had to punt. It went 4 and out. And so now the St. Thomas More Knights defense is really starting to get the wheels rolling. Now they'll look to try to maybe create another turnover here and give their team another chance to capture the lead. Mount Doug now will line up with 2 to receive this kickoff. Cordero. high kick up to the 10-yard line. That one fielded by Lyndon Williams. Nice return. Picked up about 20 on the return.
Yeah, nice job of Mount Doug just setting up a wall return to the left-hand side. And, I know that Mark Townsend, they spend a lot of time on special teams. Years ago, I had the luxury of coaching a Team BC team. We were down in the States actually playing in the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. And Mark Townsend was our special teams coordinator. And I can still remember Marcus Davis running the opening kickoff all the way back to the American team that we played against down to their 30-yard line. We ran a long pass on the first play of the game. We were up 7-0, and we ended up winning the big game down in San Antonio many years ago. So I know that Mark Townsend has a great special teams playbook.
Another sack for the St. Thomas More offense. They had 2 sacks on the last Mount Doug drive. And hey, 3 times is even better than 2. And they'll drive him back about another 5 yards on the play.
Yeah, there's your veteran, Jack Wagner. Good job, Jack, to do a good job of scraping from his linebacker position to sack Hunter Swift on that play. Oh.
Mount Doug, though, will counter back on a fine play by Jackson Reed.
Yeah, great catch, getting the ball out into the flat and turning the ball up the field. Excellent pickup. That's exactly, boy, I tell you, did Mount Doug need a big play, or did they need a big play coming out of there? I tell you, just a quick pass to the outside, but a good job by the veteran, Jackson Reed, turning it up for a big gate.
Yeah, Jackson Reed's had 2 rushes and a reception here in the third quarter, and there's Hunter Swift gliding his way down, heads out at about the 31-yard line.
Yeah, Mount Doug's going to get called for a penalty here. Unfortunately, they might, whether it's a block in the back or a little bit of a blindside type block, it looks like. It's unfortunate, but it's going to come back here after a nice play by Hunter Swift. Boy, what a game. What a second half. Back and forth, back and forth. I tell you, it's been great.
You can tell these teams getting a little bit tired because the flags are starting to come out a little bit more as those legs get weary, and you maybe do things you wouldn't do early in the game.
Yep.
But this is the first time we've seen Hunter Swift really scramble to keep the ball himself, and boy, he showed some great speed there.
Yeah, he really did. And hey, let's get a chance to look at some of the other games that are coming up. Of course, Lord Tweedsmuir will be playing next week in the BC semifinal. Lord Tweedsmuir Panthers, congratulations to Kurt Thornton and the Panthers for their big victory over New Westminster today. They will be playing the winner of the Notre Dame South Delta game, the game that's starting at 7:30 right here. The teams are warming up in the end zones. Vancouver College, big win over the Kelowna Owls today. Congratulations to Todd Burnett, and especially to that Ron Turner and the defense for Vancouver College, shutting out that powerful Kelowna Owl offense who put up 60 points last week and scored 50 a couple of times this year. So Mount Doug, the winner of this ball game, will be playing against the Vancouver College Fighting Irish next Saturday in the BC semifinals at BC Place.
Hunter Swift, the quarterback keep, and he will slide ahead up to about the 40-yard line. One of the great things is, too, if you normally come to maybe a BC Lions game, and unless you're putting down the big money, you're sitting maybe, way up in the sense, you can get right down there, center field, and just have a wonderful seat for some exciting football action.
Yeah, absolutely.
Swift over the middle. And his receiver did well to hold on to that. Number 18 this time with the reception, Luke Kedvis.
And hey, 1 point warning, of course, about being here at BC Place. It gets a little chilly in here, right? So if you do get a chance to get down to BC Place, make sure you dress warmly. I see a lot of people out there with toques. Most of the people have their jackets on, and they usually don't turn the heat on in here. And it can get awfully chilly. Of course, they don't have the roof open.
No, that's
true. I hope
true.
not, anyways. And so dress warmly, folks, when you get out here. Again, the Road to the Subway Championship. We've got 2 more Saturdays in here. We got Championship Saturday on, November the 30th.
I believe so.
Big games on that, including an all-star game. New this year, the BC High School football has added an all-star team. So very similar to what they do back east in Ontario. There's going to be between the the JV championships and the senior championship, the AA and AAA championships, they put an all-star game in there. So there's going to be a lot of university coaches here from across Canada that are going to be obviously here watching the game, and it's going to be a great event. So the all-stars, all the kids that have made the all-star teams throughout the year, plus of course they're, the championship teams, the 4 teams in the championship are not obviously going to be able to have their players playing, but what a great idea of Brian Gemmell, the president of BC High School Football, and that executive farmhand Glenn Donaldson. Those folks do an outstanding job, and that's going to be a great event on November 30th.
Be the first time in, I think, 3 years that Farhan's New West Hayaks will have players eligible to play in that game because they've been in the finals, I think, the last 2 years.
Yeah, exactly, and that certainly will be nice to see the likes of Taryn Birdie out playing, and I'm sure he'll be one of the starting defensive cornerbacks for the all-star team.
So lots of excitement coming up here in the next few weeks at BC Place as the Mount Doug Rams clinging to a 4-point lead. Swift throws that to his favorite target, Lucas, in his 5th reception of the day.
Boy, I tell you, he did not look like a grade 10 quarterback in there at that position. An outstanding job of just taking a quick drop. All the receivers just running 6-yard curl routes, a very common play. Nice job by Hunter Swift picking up the open man, and I tell you, when you've got your open man and it's your number 1 target, boy, you sure want to get him the ball quickly, and that's exactly what Hunter Swift did.
Very Dan Marino-like, and the fact he got it and it was out of his hand as quick as he got it.
Absolutely.
Swift now one in the backfield, pressure from St. Thomas More. Swift weaving his way through rush hour traffic and throws that ahead, but Lucas couldn't come up with the ball, and that'll be an incomplete.
Yeah, just a good job by Hunter Swift again to, avoid the rush. That St. Thomas More defense. One thing about that St. Thomas More defense that I've noticed is, they're very athletic. They can run well, and they pursue to the football very well. Nice job by Hunter Swift getting that ball away.
13 of 19 is Swift. Make that 14 of 20 as he completes that pass over to number 7, Jackson Reed.
Yeah, just a quick breakout to the right-hand side. Nice job by Hunter getting the ball out to Jack. Nice catch, extending out, catching that football here. Big down here, 3rd and 6.
Swift now this time steps through one, steps through another, throws the interception. And the Knights defense gets a roar from the sea of red down directly to our right. And what a huge play for the Knights as the Rams were driving.
Well, exactly. And, you're not going to – this guy is not going to show up in the stats. And watch number 54, Carter, on this particular play as he maintains contain. He did not allow Hunter Swift to get to the outside. Hunter Swift had to stop up instead of getting a full rollout, stopped up, had to step up in the pocket, and obviously threw the interception there. But great job by number 54, the outstanding defensive player, the outstanding defensive lineman for the St. Thomas More Knights. Carter did an excellent job of maintaining leverage, maintaining, he contained the quarterback in the pocket, and really was the cause of that turnover. Excellent job by Carter.
Talk about timing. Kane Ferrara, no interceptions in the regular season, gets a big one here in the quarterfinal today.
Wow, is it a big one? Yeah, that is a big play. And where are they starting here now? They've got, deep in their own end, but again, St. Thomas More, patient, starting on their own 20-yard line. And let's see if they've, 80 yards away from going up in this football game.
They haven't gone to the air a whole lot. It's been a lot of Nick Osho with a little sprinkling of Parsons and Wagner. And you have to wonder, is that a case just that Mount Doug has done a great job with their defensive backs of covering, or is that maybe just not the confidence in their receivers getting open?
Well, I think that's the philosophy of Coach Dalzari and, this offensive, this offense. And Joe Adams, the experienced offense coordinator, that's their game. They're going to continue to grind it out.
Friesen, the receiver, to the near side, 2 to the far side. De Lazari now will wait. Throws a quick little pass, but that one out of the reach of Wagner, and that one will go incomplete.
Yeah, interesting call, and again, kind of contradictory to what we say, and it seems to be happening all night. Of course, is the timing, and as we talk about the fact that feeling that St. Thomas More, their strength is running the football certainly, and here they are on first down, attempting a pass, right? So again, when you have a running team, it's tough to be in positions like 2nd and 10 yards.
De Lazari 0 for 2 here passing in the second half. Still 10:50 remaining in the fourth quarter. Mount Doug showing pressure, and the hole, which looked like it was open, closed quickly as Osho will slide ahead for a gain of about 2.
Nice job of a blitz by the Mount Doug Rams there, just kind of timing it out, and right at the last second bringing a linebacker out from the outside and also bringing a linebacker inside the A gap and, really stuffing that run play and, limiting to only 3 yards. So, again, big play in this football game. 3rd and 7 with just over 10 minutes to go in this football game. I think we're going to have an exciting finish
I
in this
think
game,
so.
Warren.
25 carries for Nick Osho here in this evening event, the quarterfinals. Warren Andrews, Jay Prepchuk, great to have you along. SportsCanada.TV, pass over the middle. And the man that seems to do everything for St. Thomas More, Alex Cordero, with a wonderful reception right up the middle.
Yeah, did an excellent job. Good job by Delzari, just a straight drop back and getting that ball out and just a simple curl route to the outside, and a nice job picking up a first down for the St. Thomas More Knights.
Did a great job, too, of putting in the right place where he could continue on with his motion instead of having to make him go up to climb the ladder to get it.
Exactly. Great job. Great pass by Delzari.
9:40 now remaining here in the fourth quarter. It's a 4-point lead for the team in white. Team in red, though, have the ball. De Lazari, one man behind him. He'll clear out, no show. Another pass, though. And a great play there as Cordero looked like he was going to go down, and then he hurdled him.
Wow, that shows his athleticism, and what a great football game here by Cordero. He's doing an excellent job of maintaining his balance, and excellent route there, and just kind of finding that soft spot between the two linebackers on his curl route. And another job, again, very similar to the last play, just run to the right-hand side this time. And we've got Delzari with, doing an excellent job of stepping up into the pocket and completing that pass. Big play by the Knights.
Cordero with 4 receptions in the regular season, 2 here in this quarterfinal.
Wow.
St. Thomas More Knights now will load up a little more protection up top. There's a handoff. Osho draws the flag.
Yeah, that's going to be a 15-yarder here. That's going to take the ball down the field. It's going to give St. Thomas More excellent field position. And this is a time, of a football game where, it's really going to show the strength and the determination. You know that the players are hurting. You know that the players right now are tired. And, boy, it's just going to be a battle of endurance right now.
What St. Thomas More has done so well, which may benefit them in the last 5 minutes, they've sustained drives. This will be the 6th play of this drive. They had an 8-play drive, the one before, where with Mount Doug, other than the last one that they had before the interception, it's been 3, 4 plays, that's it, and then they're off, and that defense has to come back out again.
Yeah, exactly. And you can see, the players are in the huddle right now. They're talking exactly about, the fact of, come on, guys, let's hang in there. Let's play tough. We've been doing this for the last 4 years together. Let's continue to just maintain this drive. Let's continue to play good, clean football. And, we just got to get a touchdown on the board and get up on in this football game.
As you can hear, the shouts, that's the next set of teams practicing. The South Delta Sun Devils are down to our broadcast right, warming up, and the Notre Dame Jugglers practicing to our left side. And I'm sure they're not only getting warmed up, but they're keeping a little bit of an eye on a game that's this close.
Absolutely, no question about that. And I tell you, it's hard sometimes when I know as a coach, you're trying to warm up your players, but you're like peeking away there, right? And especially if it's an exciting game, especially if it's a close game there. So it looks like it's a penalty against the St. Thomas More Knights, bringing them back here. And again, the crucial penalties at crucial times are, just showing lack of discipline.
1st and 10 now with the ball on the 45-yard line. De Lazari empties out the backfield. 4 to the far side, goes near side. And great job defensively by Nelson Carnell staying step for step with Parsons.
Yeah, Nelson, another great veteran of this Mount Doug Rams football team, and he knows that Ricky Parsons is a dangerous receiver. Maybe give him a little bit more room, back off a little bit, and not allow him to get in behind him. So great defense by the veteran Carnell, sorry, my bad.
For the St. Thomas More Knights, they started their season in Hawaii, playing a powerhouse Hawaiian team, and the season's grown from there, trying to extend their season. There's the handoff to Parsons, weaving his way outside, and he will not get much, if anything, and they've still got a fairly long ways to go to get the first down.
Yeah, they really do. And again, you know, when you have a run-oriented football team, as we've mentioned before earlier, it's very difficult for the St. Thomas More Knights, you know, for anybody really, you know, when you've got a 3rd and 16 situation, it's going to be difficult to, have a play in your playbook that's going to be a 3rd down and 16 play. But still with good field position on their own 48-yard line.
8th play of the drive now for the Knights. Trailing by 4, 2 receivers near side, 1 in the backfield. Pressure from the Mount Doug Rams as they'll bring 4 to Lazari right over the middle. Had his receiver in the hands, and Gabe Nicario knows that was a catch he could have made. But it went incomplete nonetheless.
Great job by Delzari, just firing the ball in there on that post pattern. Good patience, stepping up in the pocket, delivering a strike, as you can see right here. And that, possibly tipped. Yeah, it looked like it was tipped by the linebacker of Mount Doug. Excellent job by the middle linebackers of Mount Doug to get into the deep zone drop so they could, really knock that pass down and take away some of those passing lanes. Excellent job, Rams defense.
You can tell the Knights were feeling the pressure to try to get this game closer, because that's 6 passing attempts on this last drive, and they'd been primarily a run-oriented offense. Is a high loping kick. That one fumbled, and it was recovered by the man, Lucas, that he was not going to let a defender get that and be the scapegoat on that play.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Looks like he's favoring that arm, though, right now, and that'd be a huge loss for these Mount Doug Rams if Lucas has to head off for some repairs.
Yeah, as we said earlier, I tell you, there's just a lot of players out there that are hurting right now. You know, a long season, lots of physical contact, obviously, in practice, going through a whole season of pounding and physical games. And when you're playing AAA football, you know what, there's no easy game in there. Every game that you play in your schedule is a battle.
Swift now to the air, finds Lucas. Well, no worse for the wear, and it looks like he may have drawn a flag too. Is that a face mask?
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a face mask worn. Exactly what's going to happen there. But, a nice job by Hunter Swift, just standing in there and hitting that curl route and trying to advance the ball up the field. And looks like it's going to be, there's a personal foul. Lee is, calling that a personal foul. There's maybe a horse collar looking right there. Yeah, and definitely, referees right on the spot. Excellent job by the referees to, be right there and making a good call.
6 receptions on the day for Lucas, along with a touchdown. And he's thrown for a touchdown, too, as the Rams find themselves up by 4, still here with 8:04 remaining in the fourth quarter.
And not surprising with Lucas being the leading receiver, of course, for the Rams with, well over 500 yards receiving.
Swift looks and throws, and that one almost intercepted.
Whoa, that could have been dangerous.
Oh, my goodness. Jack Wagner had a gift, but I guess he wanted it returned for something in a different size.
There you go. Exactly. So, boy, that was
like that was almost in the numbers.
Wow. He is going to want that one back, that's for sure.
And that's what you get with a young quarterback. You get those great plays, but then you get those moments, right? There's a pass to who else? Lucas. Slips around one defender. And then he will go out of bounds smartly at about the 29-yard line, maybe the 28, depending where they mark it. The Grinch is here. They'll put it at the 30.
Oh, boy.
But once
nice
again,
job again. Hunter Swift just being patient in there and, scrambling. But again, young quarterbacks out there. Notice what Hunter Swift did there on that particular play. Even though he's scrambling, moving around in the pocket, his eyes are always focusing down the field. Mount Doug does a good job of kind of scramble rules, right? So once the quarterback is scrambling, the receivers are going to get to the open spot. If the quarterback is scrambling to his left, receivers will kind of break out to their left-hand side, and that's exactly what they did on that play.
7:51 as the Mount Doug Rams load a big boy set up top, and there's a pass over the middle, and that one caught by Glenn Rose, who doesn't catch a lot, but he comes up with some big ones.
Yeah, he absolutely is. He's making some plays tonight, and that's the exciting thing about football, right, is you never know which guy is going to come out. We had a kicker, backup kicker for Tweedsmuir come in today, Taylor, and make some big kicks today for the Lord Tweedsmuir Panthers, who, again, congratulations to Nick Kawaza and head coach Kurt Thornton for their big quarterfinal victory today. They're moving on. The Tweedsmuir Panthers and their junior team is moving on as well.
Wow, nice. So Swift 9 of 11 here in the second half. He's putting up some pretty good numbers, and that'll give him 18 of 25 on the day, grade 10.
Yeah,
2 more years for this coach. He's got this kid.
I'm telling you, big time play right here. Gonna run first down.
Holding on to Lucas, looking to block, and he does. That's a nice block.
Boy, I tell you, how similar to that run was it to Russell Wilson's run last week against San Francisco 49ers on same situation, right? Like 3rd and 4 to go, and there's Russell Wilson taking off for an 18-yard scamper, right?
And he's not a big quarterback, just like Russell. He's 5'11".
Yeah, exactly. What's happening here, though? Looks like a penalty. I'm going to bring it back.
That has absolutely killed the Rams. I know they've got the lead, but there have been some key penalties, Jay, on this Rams team where they could have maybe put this game to bed a little bit earlier.
What's he calling it? C. Lee is head referee right now, holding Mount Doug.
Oh.
Repeat 3rd down. So big, and again, spotted the foul. Gosh, 3rd down. Let's see if Mark is just going to kind of pick away, maybe try to get half this back and, live to go with 4th down and 10.
Under 6.5 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter. It's a tight one still, 21-17. This Knights defense in the second half has shown a penchant for coming up with some turnovers. And they'll do their best to do that here. The first half really kind of flew by. Second half is kind of ground down a little bit here. Get a few more penalties, and now we get the timeout.
Yeah, and that happens. You guys get tired, and they start to hold a little bit. We've had a couple of holding penalties, a couple of personal foul penalties that, weren't necessarily intentional. They weren't leading with the head or anything like that. Just, trying to tackle somebody. Maybe you're a little bit more tired. You accidentally grab the face mask. You accidentally grab a jersey. You're holding a little bit, and that's going to happen as the game progresses, especially when you're, again, adrenaline flowing, playoff football, BC Place, the risk of it being your last ever football game.
Yeah.
I mean, there's lots going on right now, in these young men's minds, right? So, you know what? But boy, what a game! We knew this one was going to be a close one, right? We had, a couple blowouts early. Vancouver College, congratulations again for their big, defensive stalwart game for the Vancouver College Fighting Irish, shutting out the powerful Kelowna Owls today. And gosh, that Vancouver College team with that team speed. Jason Soriano at that receiver made one of the greatest catches I've ever seen in high school football today.
Hunter Swift now checks, throws it deep, looking for Lucas. Ran into the defender. He's livid at the referee, saying he was held up, but the referee saw something different, and he's the one with the whistle.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? That's good coverage. That's excellent coverage on the part of St. Thomas More, and good job defensively. They knew they were going to come out, and who are you going to go to in a situation like that? Obviously, you're going to go to Joe Lewis, and they're going to try to put their best defender on him. And again, good job, great defense by St. Thomas More.
They disguised it a bit too. They had the 3 receivers to the far side. Swift now with a little punt.
That's what he needs. Let it bounce here. Let it bounce.
And he gets a Mount Doug roll, and will find a home
Yeah, interesting. I know, Mount Doug is kind of famous for that punt formation. It's just a regular shotgun formation. So the defense, one thing that happens there is that defense is going, he's in shotgun. He's only 5 yards deep, and they have to honor the pass. They have to honor, a regular offensive play, right? And then all of a sudden, of course, Hunter gets the ball quickly and boom, kicks it, and there's no return man, right? So gaining an extra, say, 10 or 15 yards, and again, nice, smart little wrinkle that the special teams coordinator for Mount Doug, has consistently done over the years.
6 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. The Knights need a major to take the lead. A field goal's not enough, and slipping through the tackles.
Whoa.
Nick Osho willing his way ahead for a gain of 7 on the play.
Boy, good job by, a guy that we haven't mentioned a lot today is Braden Turnbull. But, talk about some of the, touchdown saving tackles. He did an excellent job of coming up and making a secure tackle in the open field.
You just love the way that Osho does the little stutter step and,
Excellent, yes.
Can turn in a phone booth, as they say.
Le'Veon Bell-ish.
It is. Back in his Steeler days.
Yes.
Not so much
No.
with the Jets. Early movement on the line.
Oh.
Referee sees that, and the laundry flies.
Yeah, that was an obvious. And that's, you're kind of out in an island there when you're at playing the right tackle position and you jump offside like that. It's like, I can't hide anywhere. That's my bad.
You never get the glory. All you do is get the blame. You're the referee of the players, the offensive line.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you can't win without him either.
Yeah.
So I'll back him up now. 2nd and 8. Play action now as De Lazari is brought down at the 20-yard line. Not enough for a first down. We'll pick up a couple more yards, though. And that'll bring up a massive 3rd down, Jay.
Yeah, excellent job by the Mount Doug Rams defense in that particular play. Delzari rolling out to his right-hand side. And there's our 82 looking at the curl position. And, there's an adjustment that Mount Doug defense did. They know that they have been that St. Thomas More has been successfully running that curl route to number 82, of course, and Cardero. And they took that play away, right?
Knights now. 3rd and 5. Mount Doug creeping some defenders up. Little bit of time, throws it over the middle. He's got a man open, and it's Parsons for the big first down.
Wow, what a play, what a throw by Delzari. Great job in there. Gosh, with under 5 minutes left in this football game, showed a tremendous amount of poise for a quarterback stepping back in that pocket. Only grade 11, and Delzari did an another penalty here.
And we see the Mount Doug faithful with a smattering of applause. So I think we have a feeling where this is going.
Oh, procedure. That's just – look at 2 procedure penalties in a row against St. Thomas More that just absolutely kills them. Oh, I'm sure Coach Adams and Coach Delzari are just pulling their hair out. What is up, you guys? Come on. At a crucial time, at a time right now when we really, really need you.
Def Leppard had a song, 1 step forward, 2 steps back, and you could cue that song there because that's been this march on offense for the St. Thomas More Knights. Their season in the balance. 7-0 in the regular season doesn't mean nothing when you're watching the finals from the sidelines. De Lazari now, 3rd and 10. Gets some good pressure, slings that over the middle fearlessly, and he's still on his feet. Wagner making his way over to the left side. He's got a blocker with Parsons in front. Wagner cutting his way through, and he is dropped down at the 18-yard line, and these receivers coming up massive for the Knights.
Wow, and the veteran Wagner, boy, we've called his name a few times tonight, and every time we call Wagner's name, he's making a big play for these St. Thomas More Knights, and no bigger play than that play right there. Great job, De Lazari, to step up in the pocket, show the poise, and go to your guy, right? Go to your best players. Right now is the time when the best players have to step up and make plays.
Well, you know what? Every one of those grade 12s is thinking in their head, if I don't make this play, I might not be playing next week.
Yeah, and again, great poise by Delzari. Looked to his first receiver, wasn't there, didn't like what he saw, came back to Wagner over the middle. Excellent pickup.
Hand off to Osho, spins around
Oh,
a
big
tackle.
spin.
Osho on his feet down to about the 13-yard line.
Gosh, that's a big pickup, and that is, that is crucial for St. Thomas More on first down with a running type offense to be able to pick up big yards. Of course, there a big gain of 6.5, 7 yards on that first down play, but I tell you, that is crucial for them to pick up yardage on first down, and that's exactly what they did on that play. It kind of really opens up the playbook now a little bit, and again, we're starting to watch the clock here. Just under 3 minutes left. The St. Thomas More are on the 18-yard line. Is it 18 or 11?
14-yard line.
14-yard line.
27 times Nick Osho's carried the ball. Let's add to that total here. Oh, no, it's Parsons. Parsons moves ahead and gets the ball down for a first down to about the 6-yard line, but he's either gassed or he's a little bit banged up there.
Yeah, probably a little bit of both. There's St. Thomas More's game plan, right? Just run the rock, and just maintain ball possession. That's exactly what Coach Delzari told us all week long, is that, they're just going to maintain the ball. They use their speed, so they're using Parsons' speed, Osho's speed, Wagner's speed. They've showed that tonight, and they're exactly running their game plan. And, always the game plan doesn't always work. Doesn't go as planned, especially when you're in the playoffs. And you got to realize, hey, that Mount Doug team is well coached, and they're going to be preparing and working hard all week as well.
Parsons, he is down. It looks like maybe a bit of a hamstring problem or maybe cramping up a little bit. That was what he was grabbing at the moment. But 8th play of the drive coming up for the St. Thomas More Knights. They've extended those plays, and you wonder how worn down this Mount Doug defense is after having to stay on the field for lengthy spells, especially here in the second half.
Yeah, no question. And, that was one of the first things that Coach Townsend told me earlier in the week is, Jay, we're banged up. Our guys are really hurting right now. So, you know what? A lot of these guys are playing on pride right now. But, hey, expect Mount Doug right now. This is where they play their best defense. They're going to be bringing pressure.
Remember, back to the beginning of the game, St. Thomas More knocking on the doorstep, denied 3 straight times. Can they find the fortitude to do it again here late in this fourth quarter? There's a handoff, though, to the end zone. Touchdown, St. Thomas More Knight. And who else? Nick Osho with the major.
Wow, excellent job. The play is designed to run right off right tackle, but Mount Doug did a nice job of squeezing that off tackle power hole, and Osho did an excellent job of bouncing that football to the outside into the end zone.
28
Wagner
carries.
with the lead block. There's a block by Wagner again. Not only did Wagner make a tremendous play on the 3rd and long pass, but he also had a great kickout block on that particular play to allow Osho to get into the end zone. Great drive, great job by St. Thomas More, showing their pride, showing their determination, and scoring that right now leading touchdown.
A field goal, though, can win it, or can tie it, for Mount Doug. Swift is shown, especially when he hooks up with Lucas. He can go deep, and he can cause pain. This game ain't over yet, Jay.
That's right. We've got, it's going to be a slow 2 minutes, that's for sure. And I tell you, Mark Townsend right now, Coach Townsend, he's been in this situation before. He's talking to his players. He knows right now that he's got certain plays lined up. He's talking to Lucas. He's talking to Swift. He's talking to his main guys right now and making sure that they understand and know, these are the plays that we're going to run. Mark's got it all scripted out right now. He's got the plays that he's going to run on this particular drive. And, being there before, it's, it certainly is an advantage for Mount Doug. But how about that drive? St. Thomas More, Anthony Delazari on 3rd down and long, hitting Wagner over the middle for a huge gain. That gain was 53 yards. And just that's the play of the game right now. That's the play of the night right now. That's actually the play of the day that we have seen in BC Place in this outstanding, great day of football quarterfinal action. And we've got one more game. There's a South Delta Sun Devils in their navy and yellow jerseys, eagerly awaiting this finish. And we got the Notre Dame Jugglers in their white and blue jerseys with their traditional plain white helmets, getting ready to go at it.
Ray Moon's team against Dennis Kelly's team. If you like your coaches, boy, there's a couple of brilliant minds manning that next game. Jake Elliott will have the call at 7:30 is Mount Doug.
Oh, boy.
Looking to bring it back, and a nice return here. And it is number 10, Lyndon Williams, who's had a fine afternoon /
Lyndon
evening.
Williams has made some big plays, and only in grade 11, the Mount Doug Rams are going to be counting on Lyndon Williams to help lead this football team next year into the next year's season. But I tell you, the focus is right now on this minute 52 left, and let's see if the Mount Doug Rams and grade 10 quarterback Hunter Swift can lead them to the end zone. Or at least in the field goal range, as you said.
Empty backfield. Swift looking one way,
boy.
slips around the pressure. Oh my goodness. Swift will just throw the ball down before he is sacked. And as Cordero down in some discomfort for St. Thomas More, and they can little afford to lose him late in this game.
Yeah, exactly. And there's this toughness. He jumps up right away. He does not want to come out of this football game. And you know what? Hey, as a football player right now, you want to be in the football game right now, right? Whether you're on offense, whether you're on defense, you want to be in this football game.
Van Loo had a paw on Swift. He just couldn't bring him down. This young man's been so elusive during this game, and once again, slips away from Van Loo, throws it up, intercepted, but the flag flies. So
Another
it's
flag.
number 2, Gabe Nacario with the interception, but we'll see if it stands.
Okay, we've got a couple of interesting calls here, Warren. Let's see what happens. That first call came from the sidelines, kind of where maybe a holding call, legal man downfield could be, and then we got a second call, which I think is probably going to be an illegal block after the interception.
Absolutely huge, though, and pressure coming up the middle from the likes of Bryson Van Loo. And here it is. You called it, Jay Prepchuk, a hold on St. Thomas More. And there you go. The block against Mountain Doug. They won't care about that second penalty. They've got the rock. What
exactly, yeah.
Massive interception.
Boy, and there's that pressure, that defensive line. Excellent job by St. Thomas More to put the pressure on the quarterback in that situation, causing that play.
And all the focus on defense was on the likes of Keyshawn Carter, who's exceptional, but it's been Bryson Van Loo who's gotten in the backfield more than any other St. Thomas More night.
Yeah, he really has played a good game.
So now a minute 30 remaining. That's all there is for St. Thomas More to carry on this undefeated season. They're trying to get their fans revved up, and yeah, the fans on their feet.
Yeah, and looks like they're just gonna be happy to down it. Mount Doug is probably gonna be out of, whoa.
Ooh, De Lazari, and now Temper's flare is.
Yeah, that's not
Logan Ward was the man that charged through.
That's not what we want to see.
Logan Ward, he's still got another year to play. He's a grade 11.
Yeah, exactly. Big, strong defensive two-way lineman for Mount Doug, and
he'll go take a seat.
Yeah, not too happy with.
You can hear the Boo Birds.
Yeah, these guys are used to winning, and I tell you, they've got to, you got to be a graceful loser as well, right? So, not a way to end this game. Maybe they're watching too much Cleveland Browns, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Garrett. Well, there was no helmet swung at least.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know what? They're just, let's see what they call here. It's going to be a double foul against.
True champions show class. They show grace.
Exactly.
And this isn't a mark on the team. That's just a player frustrated. They had the lead until late in this fourth quarter, and St. Thomas More Knights found a way.
Ooh.
It was not easy.
They called the game.
Well, you know what? I think tempers are flaring. There's not much time left with a minute 30, so. Jay Prepchuk, it's been a long, long day for you, sir. You've been absolutely marvelous.
Loved every minute of it.
Go kick your feet up, enjoy a cola or a beverage of your choice, and we'll get ready for the 7:30 game between the South Delta Sun Devils and the Notre Dame Jugglers. For Warren Andrews and the crew at SportsCanada.TV, thanks for tuning in. 24-21, the St. Thomas More Knights win over the Mount Douglas Rams.